Yo, 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 yo. What's going on here? Why is this on? This is not what should be playing. Wait, what the fuck? Why do we go to that screen? What? How is that on?
Against the people of Gaza. But they're also saying that no addresses, phone numbers, or emails.
What's going on here? You're
that it's wrong to
updating?
frame the leak as doxing.
No,
There, you
4
Prime
minutes?
Minister
Are you
Albany
kidding
pushing
me?
back against that, saying that hundreds of people
What
in the
the
chat were providing
fuck,
support to one
bro?
another and telling local radio. The idea that in Australia someone should be targeted because of their religion, because of their faith, whether they be Jewish
What
or
the
Muslim or Hindu or
fuck?
Catholic, it's just completely unacceptable. Saying
I
there
have to
should
play
also
a
be
game
new
of World of
proposals to
Warship
strengthen
before
laws
we
against
start
hate
this
speech.
bitch
You know, with
up.
this, I'd love to know your thoughts. One, of course, generally
Hey,
about
why
the
is that
finality of
camera
doxing,
so
but also
pointed
two,
at
what are
my
your thoughts around the
fucking
debate of whether what we're
crotch?
talking about here is whistleblowing or doxing? Because depending on where you go on social media
Oh,
right
I
now,
know
people
why,
have
'cause we just
drastically
need to do
different
this
opinions.
with
And
the
then Jon
actual-
Stewart returned to host The Daily Show for the first time in 9 years last night, and it was like chicken noodle soup for my news-rattled brain. And notably, in his first show back, he tackled one of the most debated issues that Americans have been talking about the past week.
One thing we know for certain is this. We have two candidates who are chronologically outside the norm of anyone who has run for the presidency in this country in the history of this country. They are the oldest people ever to run for president, breaking by only 4 years the record that they set.
But for a number of reasons, people have been expressing concern that both Biden and Trump, though in the past week, mainly Biden, are too old to be president. Trump's 77,
They're all too
Biden's
old.
81. By the end of their second terms, they'd be 82 and 86. And with that, an ABC Ipsos poll finding that 86% of Americans think that Biden's too old to run, whereas only 62% said the same about Trump, which is interesting not only because of the gap between the two candidates, but because both of those numbers are actually much higher than they were back in September. This is becoming a growing issue. But back in September, 74% saying Biden's too old and 49% saying Trump's too old. But notably, there has been a lot more discussion over the past week because of the special counsel report. Because in that, even though there was evidence that Biden had willfully retained classified documents, it did not recommend charges. So one of the reasons they threw in there is that he would most likely appear to a jury as a sympathetic, well-meaning elderly man with a poor
Will
memory.
not be
The
going to
report
the
then
survey.
observed that he had trouble recalling the years he served as vice president and didn't remember the exact date his son Beau had died, which then resulted on Sunday the president gathering reporters for a press conference to refute the accusations of mental decline, with many saying he started off strong, it was solid, he was leaving, and then he went back, and it was not a great look.
Well, many American people have been watching, and they have expressed concerns about your age.
That is your judgment. That is your judgment. Conduct of the response
Cooned up?
In-
What?
in the
Did
Gaza
you say
Strip
cooned up? What
has
the
been
fuck?
over the top.
But he also confused the president of Egypt with the president of Mexico. And that following last week, where he confused two different German chancellors. Days before that, confusing two different French presidents. So with this, we've seen two different kinds of defenses of Biden. The first being these are just kind of occasional gaps, saying that behind the scenes, he's actually mentally sharp, he's focused, he's always working. And then separately, though sometimes connected, you have people saying if this is disqualifying for Biden, then Trump's no better. Because the list of his gaffes and flubs and just outright kind of just insane things goes on and on. Whether it be, I don't know, what's most recent. He confused Nikki Haley with Nancy Pelosi. He praised Hungary's prime minister for his leadership of Turkey. He claimed he defeated Obama in the 2016 election. He warned the country's on the verge of World War II. Among other things, last night, Stewart playing the that Trump magnets clip.
All I know about magnets is this. Give me a glass of water. Let me drop it in the magnets. That's the end of the magnets.
As well as deposition footage where Trump, who says he has a great memory, does not recall saying that. Right, so here's the thing.
What?
If
Give me a
everyone is
glass
seeing
of water, let
seeing
me
the
dab
Biden
it on the
stuff and seeing
magnet?
Trump stuff, there is the
That's
very big
the end
question,
of
well,
the
why do voters see
magnets?
the two men so different? And well, with that, you have places like the New York Times saying
God,
maybe
there's
they're
something wrong
different
with
visual
these people.
presentations. Writing Biden's voice has grown softer and raspier and
Full
hair
screen.
thinner and whiter. Trump, by contrast, often dyes his hair and is unnaturally tan, while Biden often holds his upper body stiff, creating an impression of frailty. Trump uses his physicality to project strength and stamina in front of crowds. But also, speculation like this is kind of telling, because really all we have to go on is what we can see in public. And according to several memory experts who talked to the Washington Post, that actually doesn't tell us much, saying that the candidate's cognitive ability, they can't be evaluated based on anecdotal memory lapses. One, saying many of us have memory slips all the time. We can't remember where we put our car keys, we can't remember dates or names, but we don't make those mistakes when we're young. It's when people get memory seems significant. There, you have people noting neither Biden nor Trump are alone in their play. Some of my favorite random ones is like in 2012, Mitt Romney shared a memory of a jubilee in Detroit that actually took place before he was born. 2008, Hillary Clinton told a story about being under sniper fire in Bosnia a decade earlier. Later, she admitted she misremembered being told there was a potential threat of sniper fire, which is why I have experts adding that to really know whether someone is declining, you need to perform a formal evaluation. And as for Biden, we have a letter from his longtime doctor released by the White House nearly a year ago that described him as a healthy, vigorous 80-year-old male after a physical examination. But also, like when Ronnie Jackson was in the White House, blazing up Trump on it. People are going to believe those statements, and then everyone involving people where one is in his 80s and will be in his 80s during that term. And while specifically looking at Democrats, 73% say that Biden's too old to serve another term compared to only 35% of Republicans saying the same about Trump. Another perspective is that many left-leaning people have said that they will vote for a comatose Biden than an anything Trump. A guy who invited Russia to do whatever the hell they want, NATO members who don't pay up more, who said, if there's alleged election fraud, which he's been alleging, it allows for the termination of all rules, regulations, and articles, even those found in the Constitution. But again, none of that dismisses the legitimacy of people concerned about it. And again, while it appears that there is a double standard and hypocrisy at play regarding only being worried about the mental faculties of one of the candidates, especially given everything we can see from both, doesn't dismiss those concerns, and at the very least, thinking about the country moving forward, there should be age caps in place. You can call it ageist, but y'all, both candidates are older than the average U.S. life expectancy. We're on the other end of the bell curve with these two fucking guys. So that's where I'm going to leave it for now, because the stage is set, and it's going to play out how it plays out. And then Democrats have a loser mentality. And Dems, understand, I'm not coming at you for no reason. I'm not being judgy, name-calling. I'm just slinging facts. Because, well, according to Pew Research, when they survey Americans, the majority of all Americans believe that their side is losing. Democrats just always feel like they're losing no matter what is actually happening. Like Republicans, when Obama was president, they were like, oh, we're losing, man. But then Donald Trump won the presidency, and over the next 4 years, they were like, we're winning, baby. This is the most winning that's ever been won. And then in 2020, Biden won. They were like, this is the bottom. We're just eating so many L's. That's what's actually fueling the obesity epidemic. The Democrats, from 2016 to 2024, the majority have said our side is losing, dropping from 80% of Dems in 2020 to 60% in 2022. Dems, that is a loser's mindset. Not only did you knock Trump out of office, you won 2 Senate seats in Georgia. I've lived in Georgia. You know how insane that is? Or correction, I lived in the unofficial U.S. state of Atlanta, which is drastically different from the rest of Georgia. Places like Alpharetta would be my second home, and the fact that Georgia went blue, crazy. The fact that the majority of you didn't feel like winners, crazy. It's like someone bought you a PS5 and you're depressed because it's going to take you away from all your reading. Though, I will say, joking aside, I do understand why a lot of y'all can have a negative outlook. Because while in the last few cycles, Democrats have been overperforming during election day, that is also happening as you have a very, very conservative Supreme Court drastically changing the shape of America, doing so in ways that only they can do. And obviously, the most drastic shift to the Supreme Court happened during the Trump presidency, where he put 3 people in place. That also speaks to the importance of the elections that you won, because it would be even more conservative and thus conservative for longer in the future. Had you not gone to cast your votes, you wouldn't have Ketanji Brown Jackson there. And that's the way politics works. It is slow, and it sucks, and it's shitty, and then it all happens at once. So that's where I'll leave it, because if you're losing, even when you're winning, I don't know what kind of life that is. And then, if you're like most folks, you're probably overpaying your mobile provider for the exact same services that you can get from today's sponsor, Unreal Mobile. Seriously, why are we paying the big guys 2 to 3 times more when you can get unlimited talk, text, and data starting at $20 a month with Unreal? I mean, they're powered by the #1 most reliable network in America, according to Global Wireless Solutions. The only difference is you don't pay a premium for splashy marketing or stores you'll never visit. Just unlimited connectivity at an unbeatable price. And for a limited time, buy 2 months of service, and Unreal will toss in a 3rd month free. Reliable service, no contract hassles, 3 months for the price of 2. And that's not all. Limited everything 1 month free with a buy 2, get 1 deal, and major ongoing savings. So if you're tired of expensive plans and you want freedom without compromise, switch to Unreal Mobile. The offer's valid until January 1st, so go to unrealdefranco.com or just scan the QR code on the screen to learn more, or just click that link in the description. And then, money matters in pretty much every avenue of life. Rightly or wrongly, that is the case, and I know you know that. But, kind of an experiment or a stunt, a dating app has just been launched for people with only a credit score of 675 or higher. The app is called Score, and it will only exist for the next 90 days. Well, on the surface level, you might go, this just sounds so fucking superficial. The research and the data that's out there, it shows that you might actually have a better opportunity in finding a long-term partner this way. With research from the Federal Reserve showing that if you have a high credit score, you're not only more likely to get into a serious relationship, but that relationship is also more likely to last longer. And the researchers, they argue this isn't some sort of superficial thing, saying that credit scores might actually be indicative of deeper qualities and relationship skills, particularly as they relate to trustworthiness. And going on to say, our results present new evidence on how a mismatch in trustworthiness within a household may affect its stability. Though I will add, and I understand, a credit score and like how much money you have, it's not a direct one-to-one exactly, but as someone who has existed in both realms, money stresses or the lack of them, I think also affect long-term relationships as well. But at the same time, you have places like TechCrunch reporting, that's going to rub a lot of people the wrong way, saying especially when you consider that the average U.S. citizen's credit score is 716, with Black and Hispanic people more likely than other racial groups to have a score below 640. Right? Essentially arguing that in addition to being blatantly classist, it has a low-key racial bias. But with all that said, I'm going to leave you with two things. The first is I'd love to know your thoughts, not only on this specific dating app, but your thoughts regarding credit scores and how that impacts relationships, because it's definitely an interesting thing to look at, because whenever I think about money and relationships, that's a little more simplistic, right? Access to funds or not, that can add an extra layer of stress in a relationship. With credit scores, it feels a little bit more deep. But then also, second, and this is kind of self-serving, but I'm mentioning it because I think it can genuinely help a lot of people. Forever ago, I invested in this company, Cred.ai. It's your everyday spending card. You use it like a debit card, but it builds up your credit. And to make sure that you never pay fees or interest or overspend. And I want to stress, this is not a sponsor spot. I normally make them pay me for the privilege of mentioning in the show, but I'm mentioning it here because I think it can help a lot of people, and I also want to be transparent that I do have an interest because I'm an investor. And then there is a lot of bad news about the state of news right now. Right? If you didn't see, this year started off with a massive series of massive layoffs in the journalism industry, impacting outlets and reporters left and right nationwide. While this would always be concerning, news layoffs at this scale have incredible consequences, especially in an election year, when fighting disinformation will be more important than ever, and also seems harder than ever. And what makes all this even worse is this is a continuation of a problem. Right? It's not like it was all rainbows and sunshine going into 2024. 2023 saw layoffs at Washington Post, NPR, and many more. But hell, just this last January, before the end of the month, the Los Angeles Times gutted over 20% of its newsroom, with the paper's owner saying that the move is, quote, painful for all, but it is imperative that we act urgently and take steps to build a sustainable and thriving paper for the next generation. And with that, claiming that the paper was losing $30 to $40 million annually without building toward higher readership or new advertising and subscription revenues. You also had Business Insider getting rid of 8% of its workers, NBC News slashing staffers, New York Daily News, Forbes, and Condé Nast holding walkouts amid cost-cutting measures. Then you've got Pitchfork getting folded into GQ, Sports Illustrated laying off enough staffers that the entire future of publication is called into question. And if all of this sounds like so much and a mess, yes. If you're wondering, why does it feel like all of this is happening at once? There's actually a few reasons. Right? The way consumers take in the news is just rapidly changing. They get pretty much everything on social media, which means there are less eyeballs on articles and TV stations. You've got legacy outlets struggling to effectively monetize their platforms, especially since they're struggling with online advertising. And here you have people like Jay Rosen, associate professor of journalism at New York University, telling CNN, the ad industry doesn't need the news industry when there are so many other ways to purchase attention and so many better ways to target users. So that's left a lot of newsrooms floundering, especially on local levels. In fact, according to data from Northwestern, in 2023, the U.S. lost on average 2.5 local papers a week. And that's left 204 counties with no local news outlet. And then there's just a bunch with only one local news source. They estimate that another 228 counties are at risk of becoming news deserts in the next 5 years. And as you'd expect, this is largely impacting high poverty areas, which is absolutely devastating. You have entire and numerous communities just losing essential information pipelines, which you may think is nothing, but there's so much news that becomes big news on a national level that starts with local reporting. But again, even the big guys are struggling. Though, when we saw billionaires take control of outlets like the Washington Post, the Los Angeles Times, many thought, hey, this is the answer. This is going to be the thing that solves it. But since both of those outlets just went through major layoffs, clearly that's not the case. And you have places like the Hollywood Reporter putting out pieces saying, unfortunately, it seems no category of owner appears able to salvage a media business in decline, with business models still stuck in the past and editorial models built for a world before Facebook, TikTok, and artificial intelligence. And actually, that last bit, artificial intelligence, is another big issue. Because while it can be and is used for a number of things, it can also be very helpful to spread misinformation. Fake stories, fake pictures, fake videos. And you've seen how fast fake bullshit can spread across the internet. With part of the job of a number of people who are being fired being debunking misinformation like that. And when you have this situation where there's less and less trust in what the fuck is actually real, you're left with a larger portion of the population or the electorate less informed, whether it be day to day in your personal and business life or at the ballot box every 2, 4, and/or 6 years. It's important
He's
to be
the
informed. Which, I mean,
anti-cheat.
on the note of elections, we're already seeing some of this play out. AI election misinformation scams, and experts fear that it is only going to get worse from here. With Oren Etzioni, an artificial intelligence expert, telling the AP, I expect a tsunami of misinformation. I can't prove that. I hope to be proven wrong. The ingredients are there, and I'm completely terrified. You can see a political candidate like President Biden being rushed to a hospital, and you can see bombings and violence that never occurred. And yeah, people could use this to manipulate voters or to just cause chaos. The fact that this kind of misinformation is increasing while newsroom journalists are decreasing, it creates the perfect storm. And again, that storm exists outside of politics. I mean, how many times have we covered something on this show where someone turned to a journalist as their last resort and then finally got justice? They were finally heard. Some corrupt motherfucker was finally held accountable. As Emily St. Martin wrote, these stories have the ability to open and change minds, which in turn changes our culture. But the very big issue is I don't really see this trend changing.
What we got a
anyway.
new.
And I don't know how realistic
what's
it is
going
for
on
any
here?
of these groups to actually evolve in a way where they're not just bleeding cash, which in turn will connect to a really long cycle.
What's going on
Huge
here?
desperation and need for money. It sometimes results in not the best stuff. But for now, that is where I'm going to leave this one. And I want to pass the question off to you. What are your thoughts, your concerns, your feelings about the picture that's being painted right? Because it not only falls on all of us as news consumers, but also people existing in the world. And then finally today, we have yesterday, today, that's...
What is there, a knife?
We dive into the comments to see what y'all had to say about yesterday's show. The first standout being so many people saying, if you're not growing, you're dying, or you want a shirt, in which case, I'll think about it. I'll be able to sneak that into the next 2 days drop, which will include your mom's favorite cowboy. Take me first, and Ron Baldwin, one of our most popular things we've ever sold. Don't be stupid. So understandably, and thankfully, a lot of the comments were about the more serious aspects of the news. DJ Sanchez saying, thank you for highlighting Gaza right after the Super Bowl story. You know, launching over true news. Appreciate you for that. I know in this segment, I often say that this might be a little bit too inside baseball. Whenever we can, we've been making these tweets, feeling more comfortable covering the heavier, just horrendous news at the top of the show rather than the end. In the past, we wouldn't do that because it felt like we were more likely to have the show completely suppressed by YouTube and this guy. Like when you see those tweets, they're usually not for no reason. Also regarding Israel and Rafah, you have the one-ton hammer saying, how can the area north of Rafah be both cleared and still be a conflict zone? Why would there be a conflict in a clear area? And others adding, recall that Rafah is where Israel told Gaza they needed to go to be safe. The initial claims were that if you didn't go south when they warned people to evacuate their homes, it was your own fault. Then it shifted from going south, typically going to Rafah. Now they're bombing Rafah, which they already were doing, but now explicitly. It wasn't that Israel bombed a place where a lot of people were sheltering. It was that they bombed the only place they told them to go to be safe. This is why
They're fucking assholes. Sorry.
Are you looking to
I'd be
add
out too
meaning
honest.
to your existence? Do you need a purpose? Something to guide you on the path of life? I'm sorry, we don't have that, but here's some gaming news. Grand Theft Auto publisher Take-Two has announced a significant cost reduction plan due to mixed earnings during their last financial quarter. However, Take-Two CEO Strauss Zelnick made it clear to several outlets that the company has no current plans for layoffs. They're probably still drawing those up. After all, Zelnick told GamesIndustry.biz that this year's cost cutting will be more robust than last year's cuts that did feature layoffs.
That's right, that's cost cut Take-Two.
Zelnick seems to think there are alternatives this time, though. He claims Take-Two's biggest line item expense is marketing, and that surprised me. I didn't realize leaks and hacks were so expensive.
Scrappy DP
They're
says,
doing it.
first game of the season.
It's them. Based on the state of the gaming industry, Zelnick's comments don't really put me at ease. So many gaming jobs have been cut at this point, and people are trying to figure out why. While the pandemic bubble is the go-to excuse, maybe that doesn't explain how 6,000 people have lost their jobs 2 months into 2024. Some people are still getting COVID. Some developers who spoke to IGN suggest overspending may be one explanation. One of them claimed a mobile gaming company flew employees in from overseas for a lavish event 2 months before, laying off 30% of their staff.
It was a farewell party, they just didn't know yet.
Other reports state that companies like 342
Jet.
Industries and Bungie are outsourcing development to third-party studios. And some of those third-party studios claim they're suffering layoffs because their clients are now outsourcing to countries with cheaper and lower quality output. The fact is that modern AAA game design is taking longer and longer while getting more expensive. Now many publishers are hopping on genre trends for fewer, cheaper, surefire hits. But this may make the situation worse since the publishers are then left without a full slate of games for future release, and there's fewer development jobs available. Plus, now there's been so many layoffs that some companies feel safe cutting jobs, since another developer will take over the news cycle within 2 days. Voice actor Elias Toufexis has said at least 2 projects he's been actively working on have been scrapped, tweeting the industry is a disaster zone right now. And you can tell
I got one
because
under
there
me.
haven't been as many disaster-themed video games. When things are good, the video games are sad.
Zombie litmus test. There's 15 zombie games. Doing pretty good.
We are under that 15 zombie game threshold. Helldivers 2 is apparently too successful to the point that the servers were overloaded. Employees at developer Arrowhead Game Studios needed to sleep after releasing 3 rapid fixes. In a Steam update published over the weekend, CEO Johan Pellestedt revealed that the reason many players have difficulty connecting to the game is because there are too many players. The game's servers have a rate limit that denies connections beyond a certain amount per minute so that the system doesn't explode, basically. Important. Over the weekend, they increased the rate limit from 10,000 connections per minute to 20,000 and increased the concurrent player capacity from 250,000 to 360,000. But the game suffered a severe case of success, as the player count reached the new capacity limit in under 6 minutes. On Monday, Arrowhead issued another patch to further improve the server situation, but they had to roll the patch back. While it was intended to fix the issues caused by the swarm of players trying to get into the game, it ended up causing significant degradation in performance for some players, according to a developer post in the official Helldivers subreddit. Popularity is dangerous. That's why I wear a fake mustache in every video I host. It could be, still could be though. Final Fantasy Rebirth reignited the Great Yellow Paint debate after the game's new demo features Cloud Strife climbing up some yellow rocks. And I can see how that would be controversial.
John, you can carry that sword and climb?
If you've somehow managed to avoid the argument about yellow paint in gaming, instead living a life full of peace and perhaps fine cheeses, the issue here is that game designers often indicate that players can interact with certain objects using bright yellow paint. We last saw this conversation reignite when the Resident Evil 4 remake released, and some poor NPC tripped and spilled his prized bucket of yellow paint on a ladder. Some gamers feel that this very obvious indicator ruins the immersion of the game, but apparently there are some good reasons for it. Accessibility consultant Steve Saylor says the higher contrast can help gamers with low vision or cognitive disabilities see where they need to go. There's an argument for politely guided developer David Stockman shares that some players of his game, which is exclusive, still asked him how to jump when they were presented with a single button controller. Some have argued that unrealistic visual cues are needed more as art becomes more realistic. The director of Deathloop disagrees somewhat, tweeting, "It's a choice and investment to avoid yellow paint, one that requires a lot of communication between disciplines during development. Personally, I don't know whose, but I do know that I will spend the next 12 hours with Coldplay stuck in my head. They have a song called Yellow.
They're kind of living without dying.
Blood of Angry Men, that one?
And they were all
Then don't hot drop.
Alright.
melodies.
It's not hot.
I can't do that. It's not my mic, ma'am.
Wait, what button do I press to do that?
Hey, at least he's respectful.
What the fuck is
It's Apex Legends. I don't know what's going on. If I look at OBS, if I use Discord, if I use any other app, everything's fine. I'm using a fucking $400 mic. It's not the mic. It's not. It's literally. I've had. No, but ma'am, I'm an audio engineer. I know exactly what's going on. I've investigated this extensively.
You probably aren't gonna understand the reference. It's okay.
Oh, okay. Thanks for saying things that go right over my head.
There's an R9 over here. Oh, you're so
Did you threat to put on it and then I realized?
cracked.
Rings nearby. 1 minute till close.
Let's see. Let me go to settings. Let me go to audio. Let me go to push to talk. Hello.
You found the digi-threat?
Mike.
That's yours. That you dropped.
Careful, they could be watching. Extended light mag here.
Check. Check.
Is there a thing nearby? Yes, there is.
We're
Hell
close
yeah.
to the ring. 30 seconds left.
Yep.
Putting an eye in the sky. Switching to drone view. Watch
I checked it again just for you, and there's nothing I can do about it.
Check your map. I reveal the enemy positions. I'm back.
We appreciate you
Logged
checking.
off my drone.
It wasn't for you,
10
sir.
seconds to the ring. It's close at least.
I typically don't do things for other
New
men.
kill leader. Watch for them.
That makes one of us.
I know.
Going to phase.
What the fuck? I'm not Lifeline? What the fuckity
I'm
fuck?
focused on crafting.
I don't want to be this bitch.
Let's move
I
here.
hate this. Game sucks.
Let's move here. Signaling my
Uh-oh, I got a robot drone thing or something over by me.
I think it's
Was it by
mine.
any chance Nomadix coming back to him over?
Oh, okay, maybe it's you.
That's fine. That's fine.
Void running.
Dude, this fucking whore is just doing stupid shit all the time. I hate this bitch. Why can't I just change my alternate to some other fucking character? Why does it always default to this whore? Can anyone tell me that?
How many kills do you have on Lifeline?
I don't know. Thousands.
Yeah, I believe that. What's your second highest kill character?
Okay, you don't believe that? You think I need to make something up? I only play Lifeline.
Yeah, like most men who play video games do, bro. But what's your second highest kill character?
Damn, you sexist much? Holy fuck! The what's the opposite of misogyny coming out of this woman? Did you just put down the entire fucking male population like that? With that super generalized blanketed statement? Holy
Dude, is it wrong?
Yeah, it's wrong.
Don't know about that one, G.
You think you're saying that most men exaggerate on their video games?
Can't tell if you're being facetious or serious. The way's a little cringe.
It's okay. Would you like to join my chat? No one's telling me that I'm cringe there ever. And they can hear me perfectly.
Upgrades ready. Time to
They
make
like my mic.
Getting shot at. Health drone if you need it. Taking fire. Reloading.
You have a Creeper, that's funny.
There's a Loba ult in the bottom.
Yeah, that's where I shot the first one. I cracked.
You guys are way away from me.
No, you're way behind.
Recharging my shields.
Wait, so you're not way away from me just because I'm behind?
I'm fine. Just picking up.
Are you just trying to make your snappy comebacks to me before you listen to what I say?
No, trust me, I can listen too, bro. You can make snappy comebacks and listen to what you say. You're
But
not
that
I don't
doesn't
think
make
you should fight
sense
this
because if
just
I
because of
said
the
you're
angle.
you guys are way
There's a
away
Loba
from me,
here.
and then you said no you're not.
tower for us.
You said that I'm behind you, but you're still way away from me. Right? Logic or not? Okay,
They're pushing.
mutiny.
They spotted me. I'm taking shots.
I'm spotted. Taking fire. Astra out.
Got an upgrade
Give
waiting.
it around.
2 choices, 2 roads.
Yeah.
Putting an eye in the sky. Health drone if you need it.
Need to recharge.
Signaling my drone back.
Rotate it off. This is weird.
Yeah, because there's another team
There's too
there.
many squads around here. We should rotate somewhere.
Where
We're gonna get
to?
from 3 different directions.
Where to, Captain?
Recharging my shields.
This is nuts.
Where to, Captain? I can drop a tower.
front of me, like a team, not one person.
Let's go this way.
Right. Oh, never mind. I got one. Everyone's
Recharging my shields.
I'll try and hit him.
Firing. Spotted on a squad. Armor. Getting fire.
Setting, man.
I need to get back here.
Getting
Why
shot.
are there teams here?
Got an upgrade to.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Over there.
You guys were so friendly. Motherfucker won't charge. Motherfucker won't charge now. What happens if I plug this one in? It charges fine. What the fuck? Oh, now you're gonna blink at me and say, "Oh, I can't charge anymore." I don't get it.
Now it's time for Quick Bits, brought to you by iFixit, the company that ironically wants you to fix it. Gamers know that sometimes things just don't go your way. Leg spikes? Call your service provider. Skill issue? That sounds like a skill issue. But your broken gear, and what I'm going to say is iFixit. Their gamer bundle includes a massive driver kit, a fix mat, thermal case, a spudger pack, and more stuff that's also fun to say. Check it out using the link below and give your busted gaming gear a new lease.
Some other news channels use artificial sweeteners in their quick bits, but not us. This sugar's all natural, baby. I'm sorry. I didn't need to do the tongue thing.
No.
Fresh Nintendo Switch 2 leaks dropped this week, indicating that Nintendo's still unconfirmed yet intensely anticipated console will be backwards compatible with Switch 1 games, both digitally and physically, and I have to assume emotionally as well. This claim was first made by Nintendo-focused creator PH Brazil and seconded by fellow leaker Nate Drake on the Reset Era forums, as well as Universo Nintendo. They all also say that devs will be able to enhance their games to make use of the Switch 2's upgraded SoC, which has been rumored to be a custom NVIDIA chip for like 3 years now.
Hello?
So if it shows up at the rumored reveal event in March and it's got Intel inside, I think I'm gonna quit my job. What's the point? Only 3 short weeks after unseating Counter-Strike 2 in terms of active players, Palworld has set yet another record, the biggest drop in concurrent players over 2 weeks in Steam history, with 1.3 million fewer players than its January peak. That being said, averaging over 700,000 players is nothing to sneeze at for a small studio like Pocket Pair, who are apparently hiring immediately for all positions within the company. And we better hope they find those new employees the humane way, considering they made a cute cartoon game where you can catch human beings and force them to work in sweatshops. Dungeons and Dragons!
I choose you!
Dungeons and Dragons is celebrating its 50th anniversary, and just like a player in a D&D campaign, Wizards of the Coast is very late, and they don't seem to be taking it seriously. While the game's real 50th was last month, the celebration is kicking off in March with a Lego set, Converse shoes, and some sort of Pop-Tarts partnership. Sure. Did you eat all the strawberry? Having said that, they also announced 6 classic adventures from D&D's history would be remastered in the upcoming Quests from the Infinite Staircase. Having said that, they also revealed the 2024 revision of the 5th edition won't be fully released until 2025, since that's when the revised Monster Manual will come out. You know, it's fine. If there's one group of people used to waiting, it's Dungeon Masters. I like the E3 that is there for them. They must like that. Speaking of both these, Larian Studios more details for their 6th major patch to Baldur's Gate 3, which should be going live sometime this week. The patch reportedly includes new Camp Idle animations, several bug fixes, as well as quality of life matters, like the ability to invite a companion into the party and dismiss another one simultaneously. You want me to have 6 separate conversations just to swap out my 3-person party? See, fixing this proves that Larian really gets PG free play. They even added new and improved snogging elements, because they know the real reason we're all here is to make our half-elf demon heart dolls kiss. And modders were able to reverse engineer lost courses intended for the original F-Zero from a VHS tape using AI. These courses were only available for a limited time via
You got that?
Teleview, a Japanese-only add-on for the Super Famicom that would receive content broadcast via satellite. No original game data for these courses was known to exist anywhere, but fortunately, a VHS gameplay recording of all 10 courses did exist. F-Zero Superfan Guide Perfect. What? Okay. Then made a machine learning tool that could analyze the recording to identify controller inputs frame by frame and produce a frame-perfect emulation of that footage. What? He was then able to remake the map using this data and help from a pixel artist. The result was far more successful than Guide Perfect's previous attempts to restore the courses, getting Nintendo to return his calls. And you should return on Thursday, when we'll have even more gaming news. Unlike Satellaview, it never stops. Yeah, that's right, I'm calling you out.
Dead 90s Funk's Japanese only service.
It's about time someone did.
That's about me for about 10 years. Just over, I think 11 maybe. It didn't take my wedding ring off of my finger. What time did you ever do that? Thing I did, getting the wedding ring on there. Over that time, my finger got a little bit bigger. The ring started to feel a little bit smaller, and near the end of it, I started doing a lot of like barbell workouts, pull-up workouts, and stuff like that. It just started really getting hurt, like blisters and stuff. So then, one day, after all that time, I took it off. I take it off the workout. I don't know what the moral of that is. Sometimes things just don't have meaning, you know? We're the ones that give things meaning. What I mean by that is just that humans are meaning creators. Like, we love to just create meaning or think that certain things mean other things. It's part of the reason superstition exists. It's really good in a lot of ways. It's like pattern recognition, you know, it's part of why we're successful as a species. But I think oftentimes it can actually be extremely harmful.
Is that you guys ziplining?
Things further than we should be reading into them and create meaning where there is none, and then that can like mess up your whole day or mess up how you interact with somebody. Don't get me wrong, I am a 100% believer in listening to your gut and doing what your gut is telling you to do. Huge believer. More now in my life than I have ever been. But because I believe that so strongly, I think I also very strongly have to believe and be intentional about not attributing meaning to things that are potentially meaningless. A little philosophical this morning. To expand just a tick further, the wedding ring itself, the symbol of the wedding ring, is something that has incredible meaning to me. Like, one of the most meaningful objects that I own. 100% believe you gotta give meaning to things in your life and take that really seriously. Those are like values, you know, like that's like stuff to live by. The issue comes when we start sort of applying that too broadly, giving meaning to stuff that doesn't have meaning or shouldn't have meaning, and then allowing that to negatively affect us. A little philosophical this morning, Code Man. I like it. I like it. Hey Siri, text Tim Lebo. I'm on my way, exclamation point. Tim is one of my friends who I've been incredibly open with about ADHD and like how to text me and stuff like that. And I was thinking about texting him. I hadn't texted him yet. He texted me. He was like, hey man, just let me know when you're on your way. Like without any prompting, you know? And I don't want people to make accommodations for me all the time. I think it comes from like, you know, not wanting to need help, which is maybe something I can work on. But when someone does make accommodations for me, or is just kind of cool with like, yeah, dude, like I know that about you. It makes me feel
What are you guys doing right now? Running away from me?
I go take the sweet angle. Moving. Firing. Reloading.
Got that you finished it now, but what were you,
Chai tea.
Chai tea. Oh, with milk or?
Milk, no.
It could be creamy.
Oh, dude, that's so good.
New kill leader? Not for long.
Yep.
Come on. Yep. Just so life-giving meeting up with a creative, entrepreneur, big-minded, abundance mentality. Tim?
Rings right there.
Wow, dude. Wow. Pickleball court over here in Carlisle, and there's people playing.
Target there's got level 3 shields. Running with a full squad.
Taking fire!
That here.
Need more juice.
Tagged up. Another squad's pouncing on us. Shattered the prey's shield. Recharging my shield.
Super hard to leave playing, but quick little lunch break.
What are you looking at? What are you looking at?
I love pickleball. Someone welcomed me. I'm pretty sure this was a closed group, and they just let me in. And there was like a person out every single game because I was there. Come on, pickleballers. Let's go.
Charging my shields.
I mean, I don't impress you, but I'm the type of person who smiles at basically everybody I make eye contact with. And I just feel like that makes my life happier. I don't know necessarily, like, if other people might think it's weird or like, why is this guy smiling at me? That's just more about me. Like, I just feel happier when I smile at people, and I don't think it's bad for the world. So, like, maybe try it if you want to be happier. Look at that, Cam got us a new shower head. Well, he got himself a new shower head for Christmas.
Throwing an arc star.
Like, you know, she got it. But I benefit from it all. Just for reference, this is our old one. Yeah, I mean, it's nice to scout the thing, but like, I like how wide the water pattern
Recharging my shields.
on. I'm just telling you about my shower. So I made an Amazon. It's gonna get heated.
We need to move, dude.
I need an Amazon.
We're gonna get pinned here. There's a team coming from where we just were.
I maybe want to start a whole YouTube channel just making Amazon reviews of shower heads, different showers. Wouldn't that be a fun YouTube channel? Just reviews. Could be lucrative. I don't mind taking vids of taking showers for some reason. I would definitely have to figure out this fogging situation. You know what? You probably could make whole showers. I don't know if the Vlad knows what you did. What you thought.
I downed another mark.
Need assistance here.
Recharging shield.
Mondays and Thursdays, you will call it. I've got 35 minutes, so we can get on the bus to in that
This one right here. This one right here. This one right here.
video where it's spread out as humanly possible. Let's go. Deadlines.
I'm the new kill leader?
Just giving my shields a recharge. 25 seconds, rings close.
Recharging shield.
Rings around the corner and we've got 30 seconds.
Now, for the most part on this channel, I like to try and keep these videos as light-hearted as possible, but the person we actually talk about today is a despicable human being. And also an extra detail to the story, which is very interesting when you bear in mind where I posted this video too, is that the person we speak about today currently wants to be painful. Now let me add some context to what's going on. There's an Instagram account called ToadM22 who recently posted a video alleging that—
What the fuck?
turned around and kicked the dog.
You came up out
Who dropped that shit right there?
and you kicked them as hard as you could because you're having a bad day.
That a random guy in the street turned—
Hands up, you're not alone.
Brandon kicked her dog.
You came up out of nowhere and I said, watch my up, and you kicked them as hard as you could because you're having a bad day. I just want the internet to know that.
So as you can imagine, this video starts doing the rounds, right? We post like news articles, TikToks to talk about it non-stop, but we hadn't actually seen any proof of this, which it's a bit bizarre to say, right? Because you wouldn't actually want to see the proof. But as much as you definitely wouldn't want to see it, you can understand why a bunch of people are saying, look, there's no proof of this, we don't know if he actually did it. Well, the proof is out there now, and I'm not going to show it for very obvious reasons, right? I don't want to. Also, I don't even think I'd be able to on YouTube, right? I wouldn't be able to post something like that. But the proof is out there, and I mean, it seems like in the video he definitely did it. And what I'll do is I'll actually play the...
What?
Let's hunt over there. Need a new angle on this. Ring's close. 30 seconds to do up your laces. You trip, you die. What a rush!
Gracias, compadre. Octane's back and ready for anything. 10 till ring closes. Gonna put up a heat shield.
Taking fire. Recharging shields.
Ring, moving now. Rápidamente. Heat shield going up. Un momento. Healing.
This way. Let's go.
I'm down. No bueno.
Gotta hop up here. Disruptor.
Round 5. Beginning ring countdown.
Upgraded and good to go.
One minute and the ring's a stone's throw. Even if you throw like a baby.
Go on now, say hello. 45 seconds, rings close. Health over here. Not far from the ring, half a minute. Rings move. Just giving my shields a recharge.
Better angle at Echo's location. Getting shot at. That's another squad shooting at us. Recharging shields. I'm bleeding out.
I'm spotted. Taking fire.
Oh, you got bloody smashed, mate.
Final round.
Enemy right here.
MacTimothy28. Hey homie, I checked your videos, seems like you are new in Kick and streaming a lot and still not affiliated yet. I got a proposal for you. I will share your stream to a Kick community for you to hit 1,000 followers and earn nothing less than $1,000 per streaming, and enable your sub button. Chat me up on Discord to discuss more. Donat_Fred.
Advice from experts, surfers have just been letting him do his thing, which has made for some very memorable surf sessions. I'm Jen, and I post something positive every day. The Friendly Seal has been catching rides with surfers at a popular surf spot in San Diego.
Hell yeah, buddy! Hang time, my friend! Oh, I guess you're up then. Hey, homie, checked out your videos. I wasn't even here when you did this. Gotta add you to the block list.
The beginning of the video to add some context to show you guys what the video actually looks like, and then obviously I'm stopping the video before the actual thing happens.
This is my favorite way of moving BBs during a honeybee relocation. I don't always get the
Right, so
pleasure
this is
of
him
seeing
here.
bees. Some
As you can
dogs
see,
require
it's
me
very
to wear
good.
more
He
protective
turns
gear because
around
the bees
and
are
I'll
aggressive.
leave it.
But
And
when I
you can
get a
imagine
sense
what's
that the
next.
bees are going
And it
to
actually looks like he's on the phone before he does it. I think that's the original video. The woman actually felt that he did this because of the back door. That is clearly his excuse, and apparently it was something to do with his mother. I mean, you can look at the caption here. And Chipmunk, taking Nox for a walk, and decided Thorn was going to walk right into it, and said, hey, watch out for my dog. He stopped, looks down, and kicks Nox as hard as he could. Nox started screaming. I ran at the guy who said his mum isn't feeling well. Sorry, but that doesn't give you the right to assault tiny 5-pound innocent animals. If anyone recognizes this guy, please let me know. And I mean, people definitely recognized him. We'll get into that in a second. But yeah, as we just read, he says that he did this because his mum isn't feeling well, which is obviously incredibly sad, but that gives you absolutely no right, under any circumstances, to do what he did in that video. There genuinely isn't any possible excuse that would ever make that okay, so the fact that he's even trying to give an excuse just seems ridiculous to me. Now, one TikToker in particular who was furious at this video was actually a TikToker by the name of That Darnish guy with 1.7 million followers. And he actually saw this video and went out of his way to work out who this guy was.
Hello, Eric. You know, by the time I did checking the victimility package, but I was still very interested in covering this. Last time we got TikTok. I like it.
Yeah, so not only does this guy currently work for Google, apparently, he did work for TikTok as well. And I mean, you can see how much he panicked in the original video when he's being confronted about this, because he knows fine well the power of what TikTok specifically has nowadays. And this video is going to go viral. People are going to see it. But maybe you should think about that before you just go around kicking random chihuahuas. You know?
Sounds like...
Save that for me.
I did not do it. I feel like I've seen
First blood, good thing it's not us. We're not all in the ring. Check.
Yeah, so this is actually before we saw the footage that actually proves that he did it. I mean, you can tell from the original video he definitely did it. Like, what Darnish said there, the first thing you would say is if you've been accused of this and you hadn't done it was, I didn't. Now, we do actually have a bit of an update from the original woman whose dog got kicked in the video, and she says she tried to approach the police about this, but they're not doing anything.
basically on Saturday, my 5-pound rescue chihuahua was attacked by some disgruntled guy having a bad day.
A bad day? I will never understand that for the life of me. How could your day ever be so bad that you would willingly do this? The answer is it can't be. And the fact that you would just do this out of nowhere, in the public, it just makes me think like, what the fuck else
God
is this
damn!
having a bad day? Is this just common behaviour for him? He's taking anger out on animals
I can't
that
pick
have
that
done
up.
nothing but live their lives? Like, I don't get it.
I called the police, I filed a report. The police basically said I couldn't do anything because Knox is considered property under the law, which is not surprising.
What does that even? I don't get that. You can't do anything about a fully grown man just going out of his way to kick a dog out of nowhere. Like, surely that just goes under animal abuse. What's this whole thing about property? I mean, actually looking at the comments here, and bear in mind this video was just posted 9 hours ago as I'm recording this, so we might get some more updates in a couple of days. So there is a comment here that says, have you tried filing a report of animal abuse with animal control instead of the police? I think this falls under the jurisdiction, and the fact that you have footage is very helpful. So maybe it's just a case of her having to go report it somewhere else. I don't know exactly how this works, right? I've never had to deal with a situation like this, so I don't know how it's going to work, but I mean, surely something has to be done. I refuse to believe that nothing can be done about this, especially when the footage is so clear.
Because there's no legal repercussions right now, all we can do is spread the word so that people keep their, dogs and children away from him, and possibly call on Google to, I don't know, investigate, see if they want this person as part of their community.
I mean, it would be interesting to see if they do actually respond to this, because as I've recorded the video, I don't believe they have, and to be honest, we're talking about Google here, right? They probably won't. But you think the specific department that actually hires this guy would say something? Well, I mean, what the fuck do I know? They don't usually say much. Because like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I like to keep the majority of these videos very lighthearted. I would very rarely, kind of never actually go around saying like someone should lose their job over something. But the guy kicked a fucking chihuahua for no reason. Luckily the dog's okay, but they're tiny. Like, it could have easily not been okay. And I don't think there's any other job in the world where you could do something like that, and a video's going around of you doing it, millions of people have seen it, and you would keep your job. So it'd be baffling if you did.
Knox is going to be fined for, but he's a tough little bugger, and we're both just extremely grateful for all the
Above.
how people care, because they feel so helpful in a situation like this.
Above you.
Yeah, I mean, look, hopefully something actually comes of this. Like I said, this video's just been posted 9 hours ago. That could very easily be a new update, maybe by the time this video's been up, or maybe in a couple of days. Maybe it's a case of just release or anything, it's filed somewhere else. Maybe it's a case of a lawsuit. I mean, sure, that's an easy fucking lawsuit to win. But there has to be some repercussions. I refuse to believe for a second that we can get away with doing something like this. And do you know what's even more baffling than anything I've mentioned so far? Somehow, there's actually some comments trying to defend this guy. I mean, for example, on one of Darnish's videos, someone's actually commented here saying, so kicking a dog is worth the guy's career? Genuine question. Yes. I think some people just don't have empathy towards animals in general, right? But the guy literally went and just kicked a fucking 5-pound animal for absolutely no reason. It could have went horribly wrong. So yes, there should be consequences. There's no combination. It's not that deep.
Behind us, coming in.
Right? It's not even as if the fucking dog like tried to attack him or anything. He's like defending himself. It was just literally for no reason. And I mean, also it's like that. So yeah, I am actually genuinely baffled by some of the comments that I've read. I don't know how you can ever excuse.
So this is absolute chaos right here.
Hopefully there is some repercussions. Maybe there will be in a few days. I mean, if anyone in the comment section actually knows the whole like legalities of this property excuse that the police are giving, I would love to hear that, because I really don't understand that, right? Like, the guy kicked an animal, but they won't do anything because it's property. That just doesn't seem to make any sense to me at all when animal abuse is very illegal, so I don't get that whole statement that they're saying. If someone knows more about that, please let me know in the comment section. I genuinely want to know. But either way, I am going to leave the video there. Hopefully we'll hear some updates in the next few days. Again, I like trying to keep these videos lighthearted, but I saw this on TikTok today and I was fuming. Obviously, I have a dog myself. Wait, actually, do you want to come in? Come on then, mate. Say hello.
Hey, sir.
Yeah.
What's up, sir?
It's been a while, hasn't it? But I mean, even if you've never had a pet in your life, I feel like any human in the right mind would see this video and be absolutely furious and feel like there has to be some repercussions for this. So I don't understand the excuses in the single slightest. But either way, I would love to know your opinions and everything I spoke about in today's video in the comment section down below. And if you are new here, please subscribe, all that stuff. And until the next one, I'll see you guys in a bit. Alright, goodbye.
The people are demanding the DMs. I mean, I don't mind showing it. I just don't want people in. That's what I'm saying. People can pause and see. You don't have to like do it all. I don't think it's going to be that interesting. I just think
No one's funny.
Also, he said, by the way, in one of the DMs, Ethan can share the DMs if
She
he
is
wants.
pretty funny. She does have some good jokes.
She did. So as you can see on Instagram, I'll send that to you.
No, get the fuck off of it, nigga.
DM combo.
Bitch.
Would you like to
Who
try
should I
on
play?
Monday another podcast guys are doing you, but I thought yeah. It's technically being I understand where you're coming from.
I didn't even look at the series.
I have no comments for bad faith. I'm being totally honest. I don't understand. Nobody was telling me what the bad faith
Quit acting like a little fucking gremlin, bitch. Quit acting sweat.
Oh, shut up, you piece of shit.
I mean, that's perfectly genuine, right?
Quit acting sweat, eh?
I don't. I'm just saying I don't know.
That's not what I meant. Yeah. No, it's all that's not the right word, buddy.
This setting is perfect.
He says it's just a character assassination. It would be from your end of things,
Dude.
as if someone like Keemstar constructed a massive clip show out of every bad thing you had ever done. Your imagine pulled exclusively from the people who
My name's not Alex.
pretending he'd unearthed this massive closet in
Dude,
a
these-
pack full of skeletons.
These
In reality, most of
fucking
what he's walking about
grudges.
imagine for long ago. You want it to
Crappy
be felt,
DP, how's your day?
but you know.
Fine. What, bitch?
See, like, why is he sucking my cock right now? I'm 15, nigga. Get off.
Are you? What's wrong with you sexually harassing an old man on your video games, you weird child? What the fuck is that shit about?
What you doing to me?
Dude immediately got to the fucking board.
Guess I'll run in circles for fun.
Trust your ass. Let's go take one of
Food, compadres.
What do you
Why
want,
are you
the
friends with a
flatliner
kid
or
like
nothing,
this?
Alex. That's a good ass question.
You don't have
mate.
any other friends?
I have plenty of friends to go. I'm much rather be on FaceTime with my girlfriend right now, but yeah.
Well, you should probably go find them and stop playing with this dude.
But me and him have gay man sex every night.
I'm dead. There ain't no way.
Do you think you're funny?
I'm not laughing, am I?
You're saying weird things to a random stranger on the video games. Really
Oh, I'm
weird.
sorry.
Maybe get a better fucking life.
Get a better what? This guy's cracked. Hit him 72. Nice job. Behind you? Locked? Locked? Run now, run, guys.
Oh, I just 1v3 down the one, the other one. Bangalore's low as fuck. She's right.
Oh shit, another team too.
I'm just gonna let them kill you and go
That's
fucking
it.
craft you or something.
Why'd he shoot you?
I'm the better one. That's why.
Why'd he shoot me?
Well, there, 55 kills. Pretty even. Not even.
Replicator there. Not everyone's used it, but you should.
Is that the crafting machine now?
I guess so. Holy fuck. Why did my FPS went from averaging 105 last season to barely being able to hit 70? What the hell?
What the fuck is this thing?
Oh, that's
upgrades
for
your
your
shield.
Evo. That upgrades your
Leveled
shield,
up.
dude.
It's
That's a
upgrade
good
time.
shit right there.
Let's see what the Dark ordered. Got an upgrade.
See, but now
I'm
you
gonna
have
put
to
it
get
use.
2 of those things to upgrade it again to purple.
This is my first game on. He's played like God knows how many games.
And then I think once you have purple, I think you have to get eliminations before you get
I got a
kills.
team over there.
Or to get your fucking shield.
That's a Nimmy right there. I'll take that one.
Honestly, Scrappy, you could just use the dang replicator to respawn us.
That's new.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Level 202,
Oh,
you
sorry.
got no skin for your class.
But just play slow because people.
You see people?
I'm pretty sure that goes to the whole team if you want to wait to get that. It's already claimed. Oh wait, that's a replicator. Never mind. I thought that was a fucking... That's new.
It respawns instantly.
Picked up a teammate's banner.
What?
Don't
What?
worry, I got a squad mate's banner.
That's new.
Yeah, it does it instantly. I don't know about respawns. I don't know if it does it instantly. That'd be
doubt
cool.
it. Okay, it's level 2. 5 or 6. I'm gonna get that Nimmy back there. Just because.
Oh yeah, is that what we thinking? I'm dropping out first. Let's go.
Oh shit, I forgot we get our gun back. Oh, it takes all the attachments, so that's fucking stupid.
Someone back for an
Energy ammo.
Oh shit, I evo because I'm better than you.
Nemesis here.
What's better? Long view? Yeah, fuck.
Long what?
The Green Day
You?
song. Goes like this.
Like maybe
Sit around.
every other week. I try to limit
Watch the phone, but nobody's calling. Call me pathetic.
You know,
Call
it's
me
just
what
better to
you
get it
do.
than fucking.
My mother says to get a job.
I think you get
She
any,
don't
but
like
Oh, I
the
get
one
more than
she's
you because
got.
you were
Masturbation stuff, it's fun.
Get in.
I'm fucking lazy. No thanks. Holy shit. Take a hint.
People will ask me all the time how the fuck I manage to play with this guy all the time. I don't know how or why.
He's gonna be accused of date rape at one point, I guarantee you.
He already is. You should see this dude in Valorant. It's not even funny.
Like, learn how to have real fun, you loser. He's probably not even stoned right now. He's just a fucking fool.
What?
Yours? Is that yours?
What?
Level 2 heavy? You're the one with... Oh yeah, I'm both heavy. You don't want that?
How scraped up is this kid's knees?
Let's go over here. Don't make me drive alone.
Oh god, no! This nigga jacked my car.
I'm out of there. Oh shit!
One more minute, amigo. Rings right there. So close.
Yo, Scrapey DP.
Learn to read.
I'm fast as fuck, boy. Oh
Scrappy
shit.
DP.
Lies.
Now you can go to the second grade.
Can we just start over, man?
Nope.
Oh yeah, I forgot. This shit's free now. Alright.
Why?
I'll take me a nice bat. Yoink. Forgot you only get one use. Forgot about that.
For what?
Show off.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Uh-huh. More ammo.
Extended
The
healing
last
mag
time I played, I got like 4 or 5.
I'm taking fire.
Oh shit, there's people here.
Oh. Scrap.
Alright, well, his ass is low.
Scrap. Oh, fuck.
Man, I'm dead.
Help teammate.
I'm not gonna help you when you run away from me to a stupid ass fight.
Knocked one.
Yeah, I'm gonna fucking run and craft you guys again. You guys are some of the dumbest players I've ever met. I've met some dumbasses in my day.
Care package being delivered.
Alright,
You might take the cake.
Chill the fuck out. I'm gonna
You
call the
old
nurse on you,
fuck,
buddy.
you're gonna call the
I'm
nurse?
gonna call the nurse on you, buddy.
What's she gonna do? Suck my dick? Oh, I'm dead.
I don't fucking know, buddy, but the nurse is gonna do something. You fucking rapist.
Look who's talking.
Try to touch your grandkids and it didn't work out, buddy.
I don't
You got
have
put in the nursing
grandkids,
home.
you fucking loser.
You got put in the fucking intake.
God.
It's not settled. Your task in this is to convince everybody that it is settled, that it is all bad faith. And so far, you've done a pretty good job of convincing people in your audience and people who are fans of yours of that. But I'm here to tell you, you can stop the bullshit because it is not fucking settled by any means.
To say it's imagined or long addressed are two very different things. So one, the imagined, is he saying some of the stuff didn't happen?
Yes.
Because it's things he's saying with his own mouth. There's no like imagine.
He's saying anything about it. He's doing a spaghetti cannon, but his fans somehow are buying it.
Also, it has way more weight to it, what he's said in the past. Now that he showed his fucking drawn child porn on his hard drive.
That's what everyone is missing.
Yeah, it's like it
We
has
saw the
more
lolly,
weight to
bro.
it. There's a new dumbass.
We saw
New evidence
the lolly.
We saw
the lolly.
That's why we started talking about it.
You and your lollipops can take a fucking hike. The Lollipop Guild. It's not such dude. It's not just regurgitating. It's like you constantly there's a hot shot detective. Put away hundreds of cases. He's the best detective of all in LAPD history.
We
Turns out,
represent.
in one of the cases, they discovered he tampered with evidence. Then all of a sudden, the roll cases with a slam dunk, they put people away.
Well, I don't know. Like, it's like has to do with something like. Finish your question.
Reckon we ought to land over there, darlings.
Oh my god, this is ridiculous. How many times has he done that to the
Break legs, my friends. Metaphorically. Bend your knees when you laugh.
I hate fucking people.
That we calls to.
Let us explore.
And all of a sudden, they don't look quite the same. You have to re-look at it. Yeah, that's what's happening. We're re-looking at it, and we don't like what we see. Thank you. I said I have no reason to assassinate your character. Again. I never said why would I do that? You call my audience pedophiles, you call people defending me pedophiles, it's ridiculous, per ham content, no drama, slop. This part pissed me off because I was like, bro, don't ask above any of that shit. We routinely do the same thing. You cannot high roll me on this shit. Like, you are a shit stir, you talk shit, you say horrible things about people, now all of a sudden you can be like, no, I'm not gonna bait you because you know, I'm above all this. No, you're not. You're fucking not. By the way, based? I don't know. That's what they say, right? Apparently, it's cut off. Apparently, though, I don't see this myself. You condescended me for thinking we were on good terms. Again, he didn't watch it. He makes that very clear. I did not watch any of it. Which it makes me wonder, curious, how can he be so sure everything's in bad faith? For example, his characterization of this is completely inaccurate. He says, you condescended to me for thinking we were on good terms. You can't blame me for that misconception. All of our previous interaction was pretty positive. I didn't condescend him. In the video, he goes, oh yeah, Ethan reacted like this. Like, I would ever be friends with that pedo. Absolutely not. And anyway, I said, I was surprised that you thought that we were friends. I mean, that's all. So we spoke briefly twice in GM as far as I can recall. Maybe I'm misremembering. Again, I'm trying to be charitable, but I'm pretty, but that's all we talked. Look, I don't blame anyone for being suspicious of me. There are a lot of people out there who hate me, and I also have a tendency to put my foot in my mouth. I definitely don't. We put another thing in my mouth. I definitely don't make things easy for people who want to defend me. I didn't condescend you. I just expressed surprise at defending. Said you're a smart guy, talented speaker, funny, I'm a fan of your content. Said that several times. Did I say that several times?
Yes.
Thank you. He says, but right now, as Poison Dwells and Bad Face Smears go, your show is actually... The well is poisoned. You didn't watch it. You didn't watch it. You didn't watch it. You gotta go to that well, and you will find it is purified, gorgeous, Martin-approved spring water.
Martin would definitely drink this as well.
It's got the minerals per. It's got all kinds of good
what's the
parts per. Yeah, it's bomb. He says it's an effort at character assassination that any weirdo Nazi or Keemstar type has been in the past. Again, another typical execution of this excuse that like, oh well, Nazis and Keemstar said it, so clearly anyone else who shares this opinion is a Nazi or Keemstar. We are so far from good faith to expect that. Thank you, Dean. Do it differently when I go on would be ridiculous. I literally have no clue how you can call it bad faith. That's why I think there's a conflict to be had. I'm being totally honest here. You know what I mean? We tried to look at the full context of everything and get thoughtful responses. Oh yeah, I don't dwell in the same internet space as you, so perhaps I'm missing or misunderstanding something.
Bro, what the fuck?
Ethan, if you were a fan of my content,
What you doing?
don't you think the appropriate time to get my perspective on this would have been sometime before the surprise 2-hour
Malísimo, güey. Hasta atrás, son dos malos ellos, güey.
Yeah,
Llegan hasta atrás.
mega segment where you react to everything people who hate me have ever compiled to try to smear me. Don't you
Ni
think
vayas,
your
ni vayas, están
warriors
ahí,
are gonna
perro.
blow up? There's new info.
No. But also, it's not like you're close friends and you're gonna be like, hey, what's going on?
And also, we didn't just show the compilation of Twitter. We found the actual link to the original stream and shared that.
That's what really fucked. When I saw that, I was like, oh my god.
Vete a reírme.
Everyone here
Discrepe.
spent a lot of time hunting down every single clip, original, like VODs. Like what? We didn't just so frustrating.
And before the show, I'm like, am I fucking missing something? Because this is just making it worse. I asked Dan if he could check the most recent ones I found because I'm like, am I just stupid? Like this seems worse.
It's all so bad. He continues, and you've attacked my community and other streamers. Oh, gasp! You've attacked my community. Now all of a sudden,
Streamers? You're coming for streamers?
Exactly. He's this principled gentleman. Nobody attacks my community and then asks to debate me. Lollipops. Nobody calls us a lollipop. Now come, children. Gather around me. Stroking as hard and fast as you can.
Get him up, get him up, get him up.
For more content and environment which has been constructed to deny me the ability.
You're there still, right?
Okay. Not sure how me saying I've enjoyed some of your videos suggests I owe you anything like that.
Did you get him up? You're at the
Even
beacon,
your
aren't
language
you?
here is dishonest. It's not a matter of owing me anything. If you cared about
Oh,
my
you can't.
account,
There's no way to
you
do it.
would have
Never mind.
sought it before
Never
doing a
mind.
big surprise
Never
character
mind.
assassination.
What'd
That's
you
just
do?
not how I would
Oh
characterize
god.
it.
Oh god. They're
I
chasing
understand where
us.
you're coming
Oh
from.
god.
I think it would be a good combo because I promise you, don't understand what was bad faith about my criticism, but I'm absolutely open to hearing you out. Do I think he's going to convince me? No, but I'll hear.
We need to move to the other place.
Obviously, the stuff we talked about is pretty heavy. I think you should have.
We really need to get out of here now,
for
sir.
Additional context, but it's up to you. Obviously, I understand either way. We didn't care
I
about
don't know what your plan is, but my plan is to move and try and get this guy up.
Again, they were average. They were average.
That's so annoying. We would get way more views if we like juiced some kind of like Taylor Swift thing, like the Super Bowl today.
I mean, come on, dude. Evo.
Yeah,
You're dying to know what's going on with
We put up Evo, third girlfriend in the league.
We have so many Evo updates, like I can't wait to tell you guys.
Wow, you are a fool for thinking otherwise.
Yeah, and to be honest, I couldn't even post any clips of TikTok, because any like stuff with P-word or whatever. What is it now? I didn't post a singular clip from that episode because I can't.
So
Like,
he actually owes us
count-
money.
Yeah, it's counterintuitive to say something like that. We've had less on average views on all platforms.
Okay.
I said, with all due respect, we spoke briefly in Twitter DM twice. That is not what I would consider camaraderie. I talk about a lot of things and people I've rubbed shoulders with, a lot of people online. There are some people I would approach privately to discuss something like this. But just being honest, our relationship is nowhere close to that. I'm not being dishonest. You're not even acting like you believe the things you said. If you actually cared about the gravity of your accusations against me, you wouldn't be pussyfooting around with this language. You'd be condemning me. Remember he said
I
that.
understand.
Remember he said that.
He wants to come have a conversation, and you're showing him that this could be a polite, civil
face.
conversation. What does he want?
So to prove that I
Right
genuinely believe what I'm saying, I need to be condemning him. I was just speechless. I just said, what? Your tone doesn't match the tone. I don't know whether or not you believe you lied, but unfortunately, it seems I've always had a bad read on your thoughts and feelings. Nothing new is under the sun. Well, the horse stuff and slowly is. This has all been discussed on my channel openly. I welcome scrutiny, and I'm already hurt by these lies. I won't.
I'll get him up here.
Dishonesty twice. If you'd like to come on and talk about it, you may do so on my stream.
Keep moving. Get to
Don't
this
expect me
tower.
To accept. I was like, I accept. I don't expect you to accept, and that's totally okay. I'm not entitled to your time or good faith. I accept. Oh, shit. Alright. Well, hold on. Oh, I just saw your... Hold on. I just saw your, stories. Now I realize you're actually a meanie, so I resent. Sorry. I said, what's the difference between your and my stream? I'll come to your stream if you want to host it. I really don't know what you expect. I need to be shouting at you and calling you a pedo in a private DM where we're trying to build a bridge for me to believe what I'm saying. I included build a bridge for you guys, just as a little, if it came up. I'm trying to keep my mind open and be receptive to you. Why would I be screaming and belligerent? You said you didn't watch the episode. I'd like to know how you can say it's bad faith without watching it. And then he goes, Jesus Christ, dude, I just checked your stories.
Yeah, right. Is he talking about Jesus? Because he did post Jesus.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. I just saw him. He's super hot. You're trying to balance this. Jesus, what's that? You? Is it
What the fuck? They get you up and that's what happened?
What? I am your nose being like kind of shriveled like this. Cute, whatever. Yeah. Right? Am I crazy?
No, that's what I thought it was too.
But it's
I would have thought it was
transcendent.
like just doing like a little noise like that.
Nah, it's a cute emoji.
It's both?
It's transcendent. I think the sound came after. Yeah.
Okay.
The sound came after.
Okay.
This is a good episode. I can tell because Dan's eating chips.
There you go.
Salt and vinegar. Oh, that's it. Okay.
Yeah.
This is me. Is it you? Did I strike this
I see.
tone in your guys' opinion?
No.
But okay, so he goes, you're trying to balance with you. I didn't know it was bad faith. Compile a giant clip show attacking and call you, and you're come on my show and tell me why. Well, dude, don't do the child talk. It's not. Now is not the time or place for that. You know what I mean? While actively continuing that jeering, disingenuous shitposting on your story, which, by the way, I've been doing for like 48 hours straight.
Yeah, that's so.
I assumed that he had seen everything there. And he's made well. I'm so curious about your perspective, which is why I only asked for it after the character assassination. You're not owed the chance to offer explanations or context before the assassination. Good lord. No, I think not. You're free to say I pussied out or whatever. You definitely pussied out. I mean, that's just the fact. Yeah, that's just, you know what I mean?
No
But for what it's worth, I don't think I'll ever believe you didn't, but you were lying this entire time.
It's very formal the way these are written. No comma. Period.
Yeah. If anyone wants context, these lies have been challenged and pulled apart a billion times on my channel. Just as disingenuous attacks against you have been on yours. Right. Okay. Sure. Me and you, buddy. Dude, you've said fucked up things. Why do you care that I have lolly seafood brown?
I'm ready. Let's get the job done.
What?
Fearing does not enclose me. Eyelids.
Through the door!
Race into the LZ.
Introducing your champion.
I'm good. I feel weird, but I'm good.
Looks fun over there.
I'm good. I'm good.
Can you feel it? The heat of the flame goes to us all.
Let's go over there. I'm bored here.
The fuck is happening? This guy's a dumbass.
We are already inside the next ring, my friend.
First blood. Good thing it's not us.
I'm taking fire.
Taking fire.
Drop.
Pass me that sugar.
Shields are recharging.
Down.
I trapped him, no cover.
We're already
Stay inside your house. Yeah, stay inside your house. It might have hit my best. I don't know. I'm not.
This next match goes out to all me fans back on Salvo.
I don't know. I felt like it.
Probably the last thing you remember.
Does he come back? Mark me right there. Dude, am I hit?
Introducing your champion.
Listen, I can't do this without you.
Get ready, moving up.
Bro, what are you talking about? So at this point, he says, if you believe what you said, you would be condemning. And now, at this point, I can tell the conversation's done. And I'm annoyed, because he keeps calling me a fucking liar, and I'm a bad person. He's not explaining. He's being a little bitch. And so I said, sorry that you think I'm lying, but I saw the shit in that folder. Vile. Absolutely lolly. That girl looks 13 and sucking off a horse. You need help, man. You keep trying to defend the shit you said and cry that it's out of context, but it's not. There's piles and piles more of it that further reinforces everything. Seek help, bro, please. It was genuinely not normal to be looking at that shit. Specifically, the super young girl stuff. Point to me one lie I told, you haven't, and then he stopped responding to me. But what's interesting is, in response to this, he goes, oh, yeah, well, then he actually started being a dick and doing this bullshit. It's like, that's what, he wants it both ways. I need to be a dick and condemn him, or I need to be polite and receptive. It's like, shut the fuck up.
Somehow this was so snaky, cartoonish like.
But also this.
But also.
Imagine a snaky version of this, if you could. This is me during this combo. I don't know. I feel like I carried myself.
I think you were
fine.
Yeah.
You were polite.
Yeah.
And frankly, the last match was like, okay, well, I have an opportunity to just tell this guy what I think, and I'll do that. You know? And so we did. And, you know, like, usually Olivia or someone will invite people on the socials, but I thought to myself, I'm going to reach out to him and talk to him directly and see if we can, you know, but that's not what happened.
Have you ever met somebody and you felt like your entire life was leading up to that moment? Have you ever met somebody and you knew that the universe had put them in your life for a reason, not a season?
Hi guys, I'm with Will. We're filming a podcast right now. We both have turtlenecks on too.
Sometimes she's taking a video and acts like it's a photo.
Oh, I'm taking a video, sorry.
If you're a young man and you're wondering, should I start focusing on my health? Should I start working out? Will it actually help my life? Yes! Because one day your role model might be asking to see your six-pack abs. Got super into fitness like during the pandemic and I started working out my abs every day. Then my abs like, damn, Will. And then people start expecting it. Like, they're like, let me see abs all the time. When I don't see people for so long, they're like, let me see the abs, show me the abs.
Like, actually, like, show us the abs.
Show us the abs. Yeah, like, dude, we have Mommy always used to show them the abs. I'm like, I've seen it, Mommy, they've seen it. So I was like, oh, of course, like, you know, yeah, the abs are still there, like, but not as strong. Like, I have to flex now, like,
They're great.
like, and I need to shave. Like, if I really wanted my abs on camera. Michaela Maroney is for sure the sweetest person I know. Absolute niceness to a point. It's like, I don't, this is too nice. If you don't believe me, let's compare birthday text. See, Michaela wrote me a paragraph. Okay? It ain't even a birthday text message, it's a birthday paragraph. Woody Yeston sent nothing. No birthday message. Kennedy? Nothing. No birthday message. Steve? He sent me $20 for a hamburger, and that's a lot for a hamburger. That's like a umami burger, damn near. How many times was the word love used in a text message? Michaela is the type of person that if you go to a restaurant with her, she's gonna demand to take photos with you in front of the restaurant.
Enemy down. Every sky tells a story, mate.
Suggesting poses. I think you can tell if a friend really likes you enough is if they're willing to take pointless Instagram photos. If they hate doing it, if they refuse to do it, if they act like this is the worst thing they've ever had to do, they don't really love you.
I will be
But if
attempting
they
to
out there
craft you.
suggesting poses, and you're like, all right, okay. Although I will say, she like orders this like 2 steaks. She be doing that, and it's like, what? Like I have fries and this and that. Like, really, just 2 steaks? Okay. You know I be doing the most when I'm with her. Like, the white pants, seriously? I know my ass looks good, though, because look at the photos she took while I was setting up the proper camera. Hey, dumb, okay? If you're like me and you got it through genes, you know, you're going to have a lot of people's respect. People hate to see me lose. They love to watch me go. Obama, she met Obama, okay?
After tweeting a picture from the White House and a visit from the gold medal-winning U.S. Olympics gymnastics team, and the White House also released this photo of President Obama and Michaela Maroney. Now both have scowls on their faces, much like her now legendary scowls during the Olympics.
Yeah, I'm going to make fun of her for a little bit, but then I'm going to talk about why this is actually so much deeper to me and how Wheezy Waiter is involved. But anyway, yes, I'm talking about the Michaela Maroney from the Geico commercial.
What are you waiting for? Michaela Maroney to get your frisbee off the roof?
Take it from a medic. You'll wanna use it.
If Michaela can't get y'all to buckle up, I don't know what will.
Here you go.
Thank you, Michaela. Yes, we're talking about the Michaela Maroney who performed the perfect vault at the 2012 Olympics. Yeah, that's really incredible. When she be in there,
prisoners a take.
like how when she grabbed it and then she land, it's really incredible. But have you ever seen her do the bars thing?
Was with that big step?
Yeah.
Optics here.
And Michaela is much improved on bars.
Standard sniper ammo here.
She's a high flyer. Beautiful flight from the high bar to the low bar.
And then she'd be,
sometimes the angles aren't great.
But this is what I love about
and then she'd go around there.
this gymnast, is she's not afraid to go for it. A little muscling there.
And then all of a sudden she'd...
But watch this release skill. Woo!
Huge air.
And then
fingertip grab. And another struggle. Oh.
This is what those guys who be at the gym think that they're doing in their head. Those guys that Planet Fitness, swear they Michaela Maroney.
They got their abs, but not their music.
I'll admit my ignorance. I do not know what the judges are judging on. To me, it looked hard as
more than anybody else, and the reason the score is so huge. Watch this. As she leaves the table, her body just explodes like out of a cannon. Look, she's still going up,
And look
still
at the
going
form.
up.
Legs are squeezed together. Beautiful. Check out the landing.
Those judges, they were so wrong.
From my experience with Michaela, she takes everything she does very seriously.
You gotta hit her.
Amazing.
Her game face from when she's about to fight is so serious. You can feel it through the screen.
From California. The Americans absolutely own this event. Michaela Maroney, I was thinking about it today. I think she should get a sponsorship deal from NASA because she seriously gets into a whole other universe.
Focus. This is me. This is Nat.
This has been an amazing day for Michaela Maroney. Remember that 16 she put up? Right as things got started on the ball, no one's come near that score. That was the best number of the day.
I like how the announcer straight up admitted she's the best at ball.
And here is the reigning U.S. champion on the ball. Talked about this vault a lot. There's no one in the world that doesn't even close.
My announcer admitted.
He invented another symbol. Charlie. You gotta get the whole kit caboodle out there. They both went to Universal Studios or something pretty recent.
Cool. I love how you can see in this clip the little girls back then and the little girls now look up to her so much.
Her world title.
Now, one of my favorite clips is when they compare her vault to the men's vault, and it's actually
Jumping
higher.
in. Hang on. Let's do this.
And on top of that, it turns out the women's vaulting table is actually lower than the men's. Yeah, Michaela Maroney is a real life superhero, and I always tell her. she did get revenge on her 2012 performance the next year in 2013. Here's how it went.
Round 1. Beginning ring countdown.
Say one. We're all inside this ring.
Getting shot at.
The announcers really like her. Damn, they giving her all her props, as they should. She was doing way too much for her first celebrity pitch.
Just using a Phoenix kit.
Crazy because I did challenge her to a handstand contest. We'll see who wins. But yeah, Michaela made me feel like manifestation was real because unbeknownst to her until I told her recently, I actually made videos about her on my YouTube channel a million years ago, like Little Baby Will. I haven't watched it since. And the reason I did was because in 2012, YouTube had some type of thing where they were covering
Good work.
the Olympics, and they chose certain YouTubers to go to the Olympics, Weezy Waiter, and then that person to have a team of people to make videos with him covering the Olympics from where they were at, and he chose me. So I made all these videos about the 2012 Olympics. And that's how I knew who she was in such depth at the time. I never knew that one day it would become what it is. And that's why I say manifestation is real, but don't leave it at that. You have to, like for instance, I have been telling and joking with my close friends and family behind the scenes for at least 2 or 3 years that I was going to fight in a boxing match in a stadium. And I would always say who it was going to be from the first. Saying this as a joke, but also meaning it. One day it really just happened out of nowhere. And so in my life, I feel like I just manifested them. And manifesting isn't just, you know, hoping that something is going to happen. It's hoping that something's going to happen while also putting in certain actions to make sure it happens. If you hope with no action, that's all it can be. Then it's just luck. But hoping with action, now that's manifestation. Some people are meant to be in your life, you know? Or at least that's how I've always felt. So yes, I love her, okay? I think y'all knew that though. Some people are just amazing. One of my abs look good, I would be shit.
Get some contour.
Yeah, like when I shave, I'm too hairy, and when I shave, my abs really pop. But no, I don't believe in training abs because I've gone 6 months without it, and I look practically exactly the same.
You were pro training abs like a few weeks ago. You were talking to do. It's where you are on that machine where you have your arms and you just move your legs like up, like a pike, like a leg raise. That's actually what it's called. What's the other? So you
Leg raise.
Leg raise.
I call that.
Windshield.
Windshield wipers is when you do it in like clockwise. Ooh, that works. I did it for the first time in a couple months, like a week or 2 ago, and I was. Watch this other video. Me talking about something really important.
Hello guys and gals, me Mudahar, and today we're going to talk about the biggest implosion in our VTuber group. Now you might be wondering, whoa Muda, why are you talking about VTubers like that? The closest affiliation you have is with your co-host Nartaku on the Some Ordinary podcast. But ladies and gentlemen, to be real with you, this is such a big implosion that it actually goes beyond VTuber circles. I'm looking at it from a really, really terrible business perspective. This is quite possibly how not to manage PR for a massive multi-billion-dollar industry. So to give you an idea, what is a VTuber, okay? You probably heard this term a few too many times, but to give you a quick idea, basically a regular YouTuber like me shows my face on camera all day, every day. But a VTuber is a YouTuber that is priding themselves on their anonymity.
What the fuck?
A backstory. And most importantly, they're 2D/3D representations of virtual characters. You too can be a VTuber today if you use popular face rigging software. And just basically, you know, you represent yourself with a 2D animated character sprite. Now, ladies and gentlemen, VTubers are revenuing in the
Thank you.
billions. This is a massive industry.
Scrappy DP
One
says,
that spawned off of Japan's massive idol culture trend. To give you an idea, there are some key massive VTuber markets, okay, VTuber organizations. One of them being Yaewai Entertainment, and one of them being Kizuna AI, an actual group that I know from all the way back in the PUBG days. This is my first introduction to actual VTubers, okay? This isn't a VTuber that I actually watched because I was interested in the concept concept of somebody basically role-playing a virtual character.
I think we should go.
Working in the real world. You've got Hololive Production, Good Smile, and of course, the culprit of today, Niji Sanji, which is an organization, a group that is slowly imploding into fucking nothing off of what is some really bad alleged practices in their organization, which we'll be getting to. Now, today's video is brought to you by our sponsor. Please check on your mental health. Some of the actual things we're talking about today involve really serious topics like bullying. In fact, in some situations, some of the people we'll be looking at over here have actually been hospitalized over what are some serious mentally draining situations. So again, ladies and gentlemen, if you ever feel like you're going through something serious and you need somebody to talk to, there are free resources available. If you ever feel like things get too much for you, please step back and ultimately try to focus on your mental health. It's as important as your physical health. And if you deny its care, then ultimately really, really bad things end up spawning out of this. But again, to tell you why I'm getting so serious about it, you have to take the story all the way back to May 2023. The person we're talking about today is somebody known as Selen Tatsuki, also known as Doki Bird. But for now, we're going to keep this to Selen Tatsuki. Back in May 2023, she had hosted a contest where she let her fans design her next outfit. So again, this is a Niji Sanji English VTuber that was basically hosting this contest, and what it actually ended up coming out to was that basically she was the one paying out of pocket and not Niji Sanji. Now, according to this, you can actually see that Selen says negotiated again with management, and the form will be corrected soon. 5 designs will be picked and will be awarded $1,000 each, but only one will become an official outfit. Please note that I am paying the prize out of my own pocket and not the company. Prayer emoji. I was told no originally and can't provide prizes and fought for it for a long time as shown on past streams. So I am glad that I can finally award artists some form of compensation in the end after fighting for so long to even be able to host it. Her plight with her YouTube management company, Niji Sanji, wasn't even an issue where she could basically ask them to front $5,000, just $5,000 to pay for, again, a prize for artists, which ultimately would have been a net positive for any company's PR. No, she had to fight just to be able to host the event. To clarify, I originally wanted to provide prizes out of my own pocket, but that was denied at first. I always wanted to support artists and have done so throughout my career here in Niji Sanji. So, interestingly enough, she was willing to do this out of her own pocket, but again, to pull teeth to even run a fucking contest is insanity. Now, this is one situation that's been referenced. It's not the only situation. There appears to be a litany of other things. But this is where, like, her relationship with this big VTuber organization was basically, under jeopardy, right? Now, of course, fast forward to December, late December 2023. Just around Christmas time, which only comes once a year, she uploads a cover of a song known as The Last Cup of Coffee. Now, this song existed on her channel for a little bit before apparently it was taken down and re-uploaded by various people in the community. Now, this song is apparently a song that basically initially was conceived by a YouTuber known as Lily Pichu, but of course she decided to offer some form of cover herself. And it seems as though she actually did end up getting a lot of the permissions from Lily Pichu and people that really were the rights holder of this audio. This is something she just wanted to do. Well, it promptly gets privated shortly after she releases it. And of course, she says, hey, I apologize, but management has privated the song. Please feel free to re-upload, since a lot of money and effort was done by so many dragoons. I'm really sad that this happened on Christmas, but I hope somehow you guys will still be able to listen to it in some way. I've never seen talent and their talent agencies having so much public fuck yous being thrown, okay? Like, literally when the talent itself... This translates to, guys, I wish I could do something, but my dick bag of a management firm refuses to let me have the slightest bit of freedom. That literally is what it translates to. That level of open disdain is something that just shocks me looking at this organization, especially when these groups are supposed to be a little bit more prim and proper, I would say. So a couple days after the removal of that initial, music video, what happened then was her account makes another, actual tweet. I apologize for the silence. I've been in the hospital after an accident and will be staying there for a few days to be under supervision. I just got back access to my phone yesterday. Now, of course, obviously, people can be a little bit concerned. What was the actual situation over here? And of course, there's some people who decided to start a little conspiracy here. Apostrophe gate is what they called it. So basically, when they looked into her account over here, they found out that apparently, because of the type of apostrophe being used in this situation, apparently it appeared that maybe management people were speculating that they were the ones to be able to make that, hospitalization tweet and not actually herself. It ended up being debunked. Like, this started off as like a 4chan side investigation, but apparently it was due to the fact that she may have been using different devices, like Apple devices, Android devices, and typically desktop devices will just give you like different apostrophes or different font faces, and that typically is the actual example, I guess, that people were looking at. That's how the debunking went. There was also another example, too, where people looked at maybe the fact that she was in the hospital, that instead of even management, the people that they were talking to was actually the emergency contacts, which would have been the parents in the situation. But that's pretty much generally how the situation had went. Anyway,
I'm just trying to sit here and rap.
Ourselves.
Get some
So
points.
people were a little bit concerned. Like, she disappears out of nowhere and she's gone out of this organization. She's in the hospital for crying out loud. What was this accident? So now Nichi Sanji, January 10th, about a couple weeks later at this point, says, due to unforeseen reasons, we would like to announce that Selen Tatsuki will not be able to participate in any activities at Anime Impulse, Los Angeles 2024 on January 13th and 14th. We sincerely apologize for the inconvenience and disappointment caused to fans who have been looking forward to this. We hope that you will still enjoy the performances by other Niji Sanji and livers who are participating in the Niji Sanji block party at Anime Impulse. Anime Impulse will directly contact all Selen Tatsuki fan meet and greet ticket holders in regards to her.
I'm gonna try to get up here.
So yeah, no shit, people were getting a little bit worried. Obviously,
I don't want to go in that way. I want to go. I'm
actual,
going
big
up
events, meet and greets, especially in January when these anime conventions typically in Los Angeles are, they do tend to have a pretty big turnout. And again, after that Cup of Coffee music video, that incident, that problem that happened, apparently, according to these fans, not a single current NIJN member has even mentioned her since that music video issue or the tweet stating she was in or discharged from the hospital, giving a perception as if they're not allowed to. Pomu's graduation was announced and taken place over this time as well. Selen was not able to say goodbye to Pomu on stream in any form or fashion. So yeah, it seems like this person just straight up disappeared, like the earth swallowed them whole. Now, for anybody wondering what a graduation is, a graduation, like I said, VTuber culture originates from Japanese idol culture. And in this situation, the term graduation actually comes from an 80s idol group back in Japan, the Onyanko Club, where basically, the children, like the people at the time in this group, in this idol group, were actually, people that were supposed to be in high school. So when they were graduating, one of their actual, big members who actually was retiring. That's what a graduation is. Like, you're retiring, at least hopefully on good terms. And when you retire, it's usually because you're too old to be part of a, teen pop idol group. And genuinely, some of these people are probably going to pursue like education. In one case, in the Onyanko Club, one of the actual members was pursuing like dentistry or something, and they left the organization. And the same can apply for VTubers. After a while, when their contract runs up, they basically graduate, meaning that they're fucking thrown out, they're sent out, they move away, and it is what it is. And new blood sort of jumps in. And again, even other people, friends of Selen, had actually started jumping in, like RPR. It's been over a month of pure silence, and it's starting to get concerning. Like, at this moment, I'm actually wondering if something serious has happened behind the scenes, and this person has straight up just went missing. Like, it's been almost a month since they've even said a word. So now, fast forward to what is about a week ago, February 5th, 2024, every single video uploaded on her actual YouTube channel, Selen Tatsuki, has been private. It's gone. Like, at this point, they just straight up deleted this person from existence. Everything is gone. No weird shit, no nothing. It's like the channel didn't even exist or anything. It's crazy. But of course, Nichi Sanji, their world account, posts Notice, termination of Selen Tatsuki's contract with Any Color. Any Color is the actual parent organization of the Niji Sanji Group, Any Color Incorporation. We hereby announce that we have had to make the difficult decision to terminate our contract with the Niji Sanji and Liver, the live YouTuber, if you will, the VTuber, Selen Tatsuki, effective immediately. Due to repeated breaches of contract and misleading statements on social platforms. God damn! Attached is the detailed explanation of the circumstances that led to this decision being taken. Thank you for your understanding, and it's actually fucking beautiful when, like, community notes have jumped in. Lack of communication with creators. In delays in Selen Tatsuki's commission payment to creators. Creators who have been commissioned by Selen have stepped forward denying these claims, even saying that she paid them out of pocket due to management not doing so. Yeah, that's goddamn embarrassing for such a massive organization like this. So here they actually straight up write, with regret, we have to make the difficult decision to terminate our affiliation contract. So of course they reference multiple breaches of misleading statements. So for instance, what they say is, despite our efforts to uphold these rules, Selen Tatsuki has repeatedly violated the activity rules since joining Niji Sanji in July 2021. Selen Tatsuki's actions in violation of the activity rules encompass a wide range of issues, such as non-compliance with rights confirmations and authorization flows. That music video where, like, apparently, you know, Lily Pichu apparently had, like, the rights or whatnot, she even came out and said, no, it's okay, she has the rights, she can do it, I'm giving her the rights holding. They decided that wasn't flying by them, which is fucking insane. So then they said events leading to the actual suspension, right? So what they said over here is, on December 26, 2023, Selen Tatsuki posted a music video without prior approval, as required by the activity rules. The materials for the music videos were shared for the first time with our management on December 24th. Since some element in the music video lacked proper authorization, we communicated that permission needed to be obtained from relevant parties. The immediate response was to make the music video private until all authorizations were confirmed from our end. At the same time, the reasoning was clearly explained to Selen. However, Selen took to social media, making misleading statements that omitted essential context. So yeah, this is a situation where I guess she went out of, like, their activity rules, and they just basically, like, didn't graduate or you didn't graduate. She got straight up fucking terminated and fired. Straight up deleted, unpersoned, if you will. And this is where I actually have a bit of an issue personally with this organization, because given the serious nature of what, you know, Dopey Bird and, you know, the affected party actually went through, on a personal level, the personal trauma, this is like classic Japanese PR. It's literally going bullet points over company bureaucratic infractors and just basically saying that they're right. Even with their first point, saying that they had to communicate with rights holders, it's kind of insane that the cover of the song she's covering on, right, like she's like using, the actual rights holder, Lily Pichu, did come out and notify well in advance that, yeah, everything appears to be good. Everything is gravy. So with all of this stuff basically being tossed in, what rule is being broken? There is actually so much conflicting information, and it's hard to assess who is right. But here's the thing: even if Selen is 100% in the wrong and Niji Sanji is 100% in the right, this is a situation where a termination should have been handed out.
The U.S. Navy is teaching sea lions to play video games, which means that it's somebody's actual job to develop video games for Navy sea lions. And now they've even developed multiplayer games so that they can play against their caretakers. But it's not because they're trying to build an aquatic esports team. Through their marine mammal program, the Navy trains sea lions to attach recovery lines to Navy equipment on the ocean floor. They work and train in the open ocean every day, and they're free to swim away if they'd like to, but over several decades, that's only happened a couple times. And that's because they seem to really enjoy their situation in the marine mammal program. In addition to protection from predators, daily health screenings, and guaranteed food, the program provides the Navy sea lions with tons of playtime, and the video games are just one way they're providing enrichment and mental stimulation. The video...
Fuck yeah, Navy Sea Lions.
So that this kind of situation wouldn't escalate to the point where one party is planning to leave the planet for good. That's how insane this situation is. And, you know, this is where allegations of this company being a black company come out into, where I guess you could say it's like an exploitative sweatshop practice, but we'll get to that in a bit. So at this point, things get even wilder. So Dokibird, who apparently, from my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, is selling, but not selling as Niji Sanji sells. This is Dokibird. They're revived, new name, new persona, freedom. I will not be silenced anymore. On December, I was hospitalized for an attempt that was caused by a buildup of bullying from within and being in a toxic and poor environment for numerous months. That led to my breaking point. I requested to leave first, but on more neutral terms on 26th January. So again, things get really serious over here. Obviously, that kind of a work environment should never be tolerated by anybody. And of course, even the other people, like the designers in this
Sage was backside.
out and basically said it felt bad being terminated.
90 KO.
Her costume even. So in the background, as Niji Sanji was basically unpersoning her from her own built platform.
One enemy remaining.
They didn't remove
Stick
the
it.
moderator.
Up top, up top, up top, up top, up top, up top.
Moderators over here said Niji Sanji fucked up. They didn't remove my bot. Straight up to Dokibird on the stream chat. So what happens is her new account gets gassed up, and Dokibird went from, I shit you not, having 9,000 something subscribers and gaining like 200,000 in a day. Don't believe me? Look at these crazy metrics. On Sunday, February the 4th, she had 9,023 subscribers. Okay, 9,230. And then, of course, a day later, 216,000, 296, 386. She is by far one of the fastest growing creators on the planet, and all because of this crazy implosion. And do I support her? Absolutely. If you built a platform, that is your platform. You deserve to keep it. So if things didn't get too bad for Niji Sanji, the implosion continues, and at this point they start throwing a little bit more fuel into the fire.
Ladyboys in this lobby?
Shut the fuck up. Like big brands. For instance, Studio
your name's
Nakamata
Scrappy
basically
DK.
comes out and says, hey, listen,
not the
we're
farthest
cutting
thing
our
off to
ties
assume.
with any
Double
color over this
penetration.
situation.
Exactly.
Weird, that's what you think of when you hear.
Anything left over
How
is
perverted
being
are you?
Bro just hit the collab with the outlaw. That's fucking wild.
Situation. They just want to be cut 100% completely. And of course, it wasn't just like, you know, other VTubers, other people. It was the artists involved too that actually jumped in and started giving her support.
There was 3 people shooting me at the same time.
Now, what's insane about it too is it turns out it's been alleged by Dokibird that even Niji Sanji, the evil corporation that apparently now that they're painted as, didn't even let the creators keep their achievements. Now, to give you an idea, there's something that we all have as YouTubers. If you're large enough, you have play buttons. When you get a 100,000 subscribers, you get a silver play button. When you get to 1 million subscribers, you get a gold play button. What's more messed up in this situation, personally, is I'm concerned about the actual, their actual financials and I guess their public image, versus the fact that one of their biggest creators actually had went through a pretty traumatic experience in their life and had to be hospitalized. They're not really fucking concerned about that, it seems. And it's not just me relaying that, it's also the friends of Dokibird that actually had to jump up into this situation.
Don't
like,
mess
there's
with
one
the
actual
Zohan,
friend
the
here that
dude,
says, I can
Adam
only say that
Sandler, his
someone
name
I
is
know
like
from my
Coco
perspective that
Scrappy
they're
or something
warm-hearted,
like that.
serious, and hard-working person. At this time, I personally cannot agree with the company's unilateral statement. After all, corporate VTubers have confidentiality clauses that prohibit them from damaging a company's image and telling the actual situation. So, unfortunately, that's kind of the same for really any media company that you work in, any company in general. There are actually confidentiality clauses, which, you know, usually when you're terminated or fired, even on a good or bad term, whatever, you're not really allowed to detail the nitty-gritty of what happened, because the company's public image is obviously very important to them. Any damaging of that public image can cause serious issues in their stock prices, in their money, in their
Maybe not, maybe
other big brands. But that actually ended up happening in this situation, and we'll get to that in a second.
What weapon
Now,
is
if you think
that?
this company couldn't get disgusting, to give you an idea, this is an actual
Last player standing.
post from the company. On February 7, 2024, Any Color says, the impact of the decision, this is from their financials, okay, to terminate the affiliation contract with Niji Sanji and Liver on our financial results. They had told people that on February 5th, Any Color made the decision to terminate our affiliation contract with Niji Sanji and Liver. So the impact of the decision on our financial results will be negligible. And it was not fucking negligible, okay? Looking at their actual stock price, they actually dropped considerably over this situation. For instance, if you look at their stock price, again, we're going to go back like, what, 5 days in this situation? Or, well, not a month. Actually, we'll go back just 5 days. You can see that they went from a stock price of 3,615 yen, because this is on the Japanese stock exchange, and they've dropped all the way down to 3,195. It's been a 4% drop. It's not something that's good. Obviously, could they rebound? Probably, sure. But with such a backlash that's going on right now, it's going to hurt them for a while. And especially when big brands are dipping out too. It also is so weird that this is a publicly traded company that's willing to act like children and basically ruin whatever public image they have in a matter of days in this situation. Whatever goodwill you built up, and especially as a media talent agency, that's your money maker, your goodwill. If you throw that away and you come across as the absolute basically scumbags, there's no reason why people are going to want to sign up with you in the future, especially when it also appears, like in this alleged instance, that you're not even financially providing any backing for these people to push their content. If you exist as somebody to just take money and paychecks, not provide the bare minimums to help your content creators actually elevate their content, then you are a useless talent organization, and you should never be signed up with, no matter how enticing of a startup cost or a startup like boom you provide. So big brands like Hype, for instance, actually ended up jumping in and basically saying because of this situation, they are cutting their ties with this organization. And of course, we at Hype want to stand alongside many VTuber fans that have seen support for this organization. And that's because of all the bad press that they're getting. So again, other big brands all start jumping out, and it's not a good situation. The games media started picking this up, and that's pretty much the death knell of this situation. The only positive about this situation was obviously Josie had ended up, basically living through the situation. A very terrible period.
They're rotating out.
She had to unfortunately go through. She ended up living for the better, and she came back to an actual channel, an actual brand that belongs to her. Which is one thing that I wish, if anybody is in this industry, I look at these organizations kind of like YouTube NCNs. In a grand majority of cases, I think they exist to actually just parasitically take from the actual creator.
You don't even know what that means. You never slept with a woman.
But in that entire situation, she ended up coming back and talking about, ladies and gentlemen, this all was the result of months and months of
sound like a guy I used to work with that started crying when he got fired.
And she actually has medical records and of
well,
course,
that wasn't me, you little
specific
bitch.
Experience.
It was pretty
she
funny.
Said in that stream that she found out literally that she was fired from the Twitter announcement.
I can imagine Scrappy working
on Twitter. She was fired and
supply,
terminated.
dude. Get the fuck out of here.
Lawyers are involved.
Are you dumb?
You can build upon the bullying claims that were made, simply because I assume that there is an actual case going on, and that's pretty much what it's,
pinching his
nipples. So we'll find out
yeah.
years from now. But of course, the next big thing in this situation is
shoves the chinchilla up his ass.
She made zero profits in 2023.
Very weird.
She ended up actually having to spend somewhere around $200,000. Okay, yes, $200,000. There are people that can only wish to make that amount in a year, but that's how much she ended up having to spend in this situation as a VTuber. So even like Goldman Sachs ended up talking about Any Color share price and how they fell because of this quarter, and obviously they addressed this situation as well too. And some people have been saying this sounds like an alert, but they really just talked about the fact that at least for this quarter it seems like things are a little bit tumultuous, but maybe things can come back in the future. That, of course, is yet to be decided. This situation, I think, is far from over, and given how emotionally charged it is, it can really go either way. Point is, Niji Sanji Any Color has imploded and caused some serious damage. And so beyond all of this, there has to be some response that this company has made that has to at least
they're on me.
Make some sense out of the situation.
I walled them off.
Some level of respect. At this moment in time, one of the other creators from Niji Sanji, Elira,
can't come harder than these
which is so wild, getting the other talent to be your mouthpiece when you as an organization should really be the ones that are the mouthpiece. Whether they were basically forced to do this or incentivized is a whole different story. But it ended up being this 15-minute black screen post where this individual was talking about the situation. And well, you can see that it wasn't exactly received all that well. Granted, this is a dislike extension, so it's not the actual dislike. It's just using an aggregated metric. But
30 seconds
wasn't
left.
really accepted all that well.
I know
seemingly.
exactly.
Now, to
Down
go
mid.
on the Alira video, which again is mostly just a Niji Sanji PR post, but run through the mouth.
Last player
accounts,
standing.
Okay, you got Alira, Pandora, Valkyria, and Ice Eagle. Again, these are supposed to be the friends of Selen as well, but they're, you know, obviously being the mouthpiece of this organization. To give you an idea of how unprofessional this is, this should have only been done through the mouthpiece of a PR representative of the company. And again, your talent is not necessarily your PR agents as well. They shouldn't be speaking on your behalf. But a quick rundown of this video, and you can watch it for yourself. It's obviously not well received, but the idea here is that the group here, Alira and obviously Niji Sanji, claim that everything here is their own words, their feelings, and obviously everything here is supposed to be approved by lawyers. And they actually claim that they have documentation from, of course, Selen's legal team, which of course, you know, comes up with actual examples of her.
What a night.
And that was her claimed experiences, they say. The documentation that they have actually has, you know, personal information. And of course, they noticed that some of that information is apparently, you know, brought ever into the public. These people could potentially be stalked. You know, they kind of
Last player standing.
A rough location of where they actually live. And of course, they also alluded to, again, you know, basically telling everyone that Selen basically alludes that management actually had some favorites that they were playing, and apparently there was a secretly recorded conversation talking about this, and for documented evidence for her case.
Spike planted.
In fact, Doki Bird even talks about this specific situation too. In fact,
I think their Cypher knows what grass is.
For her, the staff at Niji Sanji, and the legal teams involved, never to be shared with the actual, you know, friends of her, or ex-friends, I would say, or a lot of the other talent. In fact, it appears, at least it seems, based on Doki Bird, that some of this documentation contained medical information, which, being that she's from Canada, this would be information that wouldn't allow to be freely shared because of potato laws. And again, if Sanji is planning to share this information, it doesn't matter what kind of NDAs that they have, no matter what they justify.
Oh my god, this is fucking.
Let them try to get. With the way that they've handled this shit.
Building your first PC from parts can be frustrating, but with our videos, it should be easy, even if you're a total noob. Theory. To benchmark the quality
What
of
happened
teaching,
if I looked up Scrappy DP on fucking
made up of
Pornhub?
the only people shorter than me at the company. Alameda and
Look it up on
Maria.
Vine
Ladies,
today.
have either of you
Said
built
what
a
about
computer
dogs
before?
at PetSmart?
That's a bit of a problem because you are going to be racing against me to see who can build a gaming rig the fastest.
Anything going on at B?
Did they not tell you?
No, they know nothing.
Oh, that's great.
Powerless.
Don't worry, you
You
guys
will
are going to be
not
on a
kill
team
my allies.
against me, and you can watch any YouTube videos you want, as long as they're from LPT. And you guys are going to get some life.
can't use
You'll
that.
get some extra help. I, on the other hand, will be given a more challenging build, but this looks the same, actually.
Oh, does it?
Hardline water cooling. Okay. Like this okay segue to our sponsor. MSI. If you're MSI and a new motherboard, the MPG Z790 Carbon Wi-Fi 2 is a great
I
option.
know
With
exactly
features like
where
a
you
pre-installed
are.
I/O shield and Wi-Fi 7 compatibility. There's no reason you shouldn't pick one up at the link below. Give us a thumbs down. Link below. Each team will be equipped with our whip. These tools, including the gorgeous Retro Edition LTD screwdriver.
30 seconds left.
2 hours. At the
Stewards.
end, our builds will be judged with penalties and bonuses depending on our speed and the quality of our work. Games Master David will play.
One enemy remaining.
Feeling content?
Spike down A.
As long as we can see a video of someone of you building
10 seconds left.
I'm just someone
Wow,
now.
Sage, you could have just got the fucking bound.
Spike planted.
Really? That seems like a pretty good height.
You're a little bit high.
He's one shot. Literally one shot.
Stop. What's going
Is it okay height for you guys?
No.
You want to yell at me again?
Come on, I never get to be the one making the short jokes.
3, 2.
Bark like a dog.
Watch the video here?
Yeah. You can bring that laptop with you over here if you want.
Under normal circumstances in one of these competitions, I would fool around a little bit, but I have been burned time and time again doing that. So instead, I'm gonna get things going. Our builds today are based on our standard workstations for a few reasons. One, we already had multiples of these components kicking around the office, so that's to be it. Two, these parts were picked for easy assembly in the first place, and it means that when we're done, we can just deploy these systems to our team.
Going out. How would you rate your technical ability out of 10?
8?
8?
But I mean, yeah.
I prolonged there.
Do you think that computers and sewing machines have a lot in common?
No.
Time to jump.
Spike down A.
4, 5, 13, 600. It's got 14 cores, and it's just generally good bang for the buck. Also,
22 Cypher.
roided out ion.
Bottom of RAM.
Revealing area. Don't stop.
I feel like it will take forever. Yeah, I mean, we
I know exactly where you are.
I want to watch this video without big dragons. On some time.
Shut that.
Some Democratic voters and even Democratic politicians are a little concerned that Biden's age will be enough of a liability in the general election that it could give Donald Trump enough votes to basically beat him.
30
and
seconds
so
left.
Politico answered the question of what a potential plan B could be for the Democratic Party should these fears really come to a place where they want to pressure Biden to drop out. Now, I want to be clear about something. The only way for this plan B to work would be if Joe Biden himself decides to pass over the baton. He is a stubborn man, a man full of pride, and a man who's delusional enough to think he's the only one who could beat Donald Trump. So keep that in mind. But if you're wondering why this is all coming up now, well, Special Counsel Robert Hur's stinging characterization of President Joe Biden as a well-meaning elderly man with a poor memory and diminished faculties has thrust the president's age and mental fitness into the debate. Now, of course, there are still plenty of people in denial about this, plenty of people who want to attack anyone who asks questions about Biden's age becoming a liability in this political election. But for those of us who are grounded in reality, let's talk about what a potential plan B would look like. So, as Politico reports, there is only one practical plan B, and that's Biden himself agreeing to hand over the baton.
Fuck off.
Now, if he does decide to hand over the baton, here is how the option. Here's the option available to him and the Democratic Party. It begins with letting the Democratic primary campaign run its course, ending June 4th. The date the last group of states holds its primaries. Biden would finish as the undisputed victor, with far more than the 1,968 pledged delegates or delegate votes necessary to claim the nomination. Now, at that point, a scramble would begin among political successors, right? So Biden won the primary delegates, but he's ready to pass over the baton. At that point, between June 4th and August 19th, when the party's convention begins in Chicago, senior Democrats would then jockey for position to replace Biden in the kind of battle not seen in this country or American politics for decades. If the rest of the primaries went as South Carolina and Nevada have, the vast majority of those delegates to the convention would be pledged to Biden, and then Biden can make his endorsement, okay? Delegates, by the way, are not legally required to support Biden or anyone that he would potentially endorse to replace him on the ticket. But the fact of the matter is, these individuals very likely would go along with what Biden is recommending or 30 seconds left. Okay, so who are the potential replacements? Blue state governors Gavin Newsom of California and J.B. Pritzker of Illinois have been among the most energetic surrogates, which will serve them well as they seek the allegiance of convention delegates. Governor Gretchen Whitmer from Michigan has been a vigorous Biden defender, vouching for him with Arab Americans in Michigan and serving there as Biden's campaign co-chair. And now, what about Kamala Harris? Well, Politico notes that Kamala Harris would be a little bit of a sticky situation, considering the fact that her polling is very low, she's unpopular, and the Democratic Party will be acutely aware of the risks of alienated black voters. That's the way that they phrased it. But they didn't revisit that and explain how exactly the Democrats would maneuver around Kamala Harris in order to avoid a potential conflict that could hurt the party.
I've got that.
Okay, now before we get to that, one final thing. Now, Plan B if Biden doesn't pass the baton and is unable to compete in the general election, right? So, convention rules say in the event of the death, resident.
They are B.
30 seconds left. Spike planted. Last player standing.
Last
or
round
disability
in
of
the
half.
nominee, Jamie
We cannot
Harrison,
keep our
the
goods
party
up.
chair, shall confer
Spend
with
all.
the Democratic leadership of the Congress and the Democratic Governors Association and shall report to the roughly 450 members of the Democratic National Committee who would choose a new nominee.
We might have millions of people watching this show, but you can be the difference maker because we just need, guys, this is a super important story because now we have a realistic plan for Biden stepping aside. So obviously there was a primary that was not, it's still ongoing, not very competitive at this point. And so in the effort to push him out before the primaries, doesn't seem like it was going to reach a conclusion. But it turns out there's a reason for that. Because if Biden's going to step aside, he is apparently going to do it after the voting is over. Why? Because then the voters won't decide. The delegates, the insiders will decide. Now, all of the delegates are Joe Biden delegates. So they've been handpicked by the DNC and Joe Biden to be as loyal to Biden as possible. But they have a problem. Joe Biden, if he hands it to one person and it's not Kamala Harris, there's going to be trouble, they think. And in reality, I don't think there would be any trouble because even, I mean,
ropes
happened with K-Hot.
One enemy remaining.
Coming up ropes.
Down A.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I've gone on Black Radio. Nobody's got love for Kamala Harris. Okay, they think in these terms. Oh, it has
30
to be a
seconds
black
left.
woman, identity politics, etc. But we all have eyes. We know that they're got issues. Okay? So, but Washington doesn't think that way. The Democratic Party doesn't think that way. So they think it's a giant issue. Okay.
Switching
so how are you
sides.
going to get it past that issue? Well, they have the answer, and they're now stating it politically, which is there'll be a delegate fight. Now, that's different than the conspiracy theories online. And those conspiracy theories are not wild or crazy, as people in mainstream media say. Oh, they'll just give it to Michelle Obama and Gavin Newsom, right? That's not impossible either, because Biden could just say that, right? And then he solves the problem of an African-American woman, etc., because then she might be at the top of the ticket. But what is more likely is Biden says, well, my delegates are free to make their own decision. So then, between the time that Biden says that, after the elections and before the convention, that's when you'd have the fight. And why would you have the fight? Well, yes, the ruling class of the Democratic Party could come up with consensus candidates, and that's not impossible. But it's tough for Gavin Newsom to say, yeah, sure, let J.B. Pritzker take it. Or for Pritzker, who's got billions of dollars, to go,
oh yeah, Gavin's prettier than I am. Let him take it. Remember, whoever's the candidate, they presume might be in office 8 years. So the Pritzkers don't want to wait. Whitmer doesn't want to wait. All those folks are willing to wait for Biden for 4 years, but they're not willing to wait for each other for 8 years, right? So then that would lead to a huge fight. By the way, one of the things that would happen in that fight is anyone else with delegates would have some degree of power. Okay, so that is a very interesting situation. But the bottom line is, at least there's a plan for if Biden finally realizes that he's an awful candidate who's not going to be able to recover from the 30. Anyone let him take it.
Enemy down.
It's tough for Gavin Newsom to say, yeah, sure, let J.B. Pritzker take it. Or for Pritzker, who's got billions.
30 seconds left.
Is more likely is Biden says, well, my delegates are free to make their own decision.
One enemy remaining.
The time that Biden said that after the elections and before the convention, that's when you'd have the fight. And why would
Last player standing.
Yes,
10
the
seconds
ruling
left.
class of the Democratic
Spike
Party could
down,
come up
B.
with consensus candidates, and that's not impossible. But it's tough for Gavin Newsom to say, yeah, sure, let J.B. Pritzker take it. Or for Pritzker, who's got billions of dollars, to go, oh yeah, Gavin's prettier than I am. Let him take it. Remember, whoever's the candidate, they presume might be in office 8 years. So the Pritzkers don't want to wait. Whitmer doesn't want to wait. All those folks are willing to wait for Biden for 4 years. Let him take it. Remember the fight. Delegates are free to make their own decision. So then, between the time that Biden says that after the elections and before the convention, that's when you'd have the fight. And why would you have a fight? Well, yes, the ruling class of the Democratic Party could come up with consensus candidates, but that's not impossible. But it's tough for Gavin Newsom to say, yeah, sure, let J.B. Pritzker take it. Or for Pritzker, who's got billions of dollars, to go, oh yeah, Gavin's prettier than I am. Let him take it. Remember, they presume might be in office 8 years. So the Pritzkers don't want to wait. Whitmer doesn't want to wait. All those folks are willing to wait for Biden for 4 years, but they're not willing to wait for each other for 8 years, right? So then that would lead to a huge fight. By the way, one of the things that would happen in that fight is anyone else with delegates would have some degree of power. Okay, so that is a very interesting situation. But the bottom line is, at least there's a plan for if Biden finally realizes that he's an awful candidate who's not going to be able to recover from the 30s. I mean, if we're in June, that is when the primaries end, beginning of June, and Biden is still in the 30s in the polling, even Biden can't be so dumb that he doesn't have a chance of winning. The 30s, the 40s, and you're going to lose. He's in the 30s! No one has ever come back from this far behind in the election year, ever in American politics.
Do it.
So, at least you have a plan B, and that could be super interesting. And would I prefer that to Biden? Yes, I would.
Press F5. Get us the fuck out of this.
Hey, thanks for watching that video. We really appreciate it, guys. And we appreciate that you become members because that allows us to be independent, honest, progressive, all the things that you don't get from corporate. All that is.
Don't need you.
Become one of us. Become a young person.
You got a pig with you?
No, you are.
I just don't know what to do with all those
Oh, that
questions in
was
the
really
front.
creative there. How long did it take you to come up with that?
No, because my mom was like, I don't want these
Man,
things
yeah,
anymore.
he's talking
And I
about
was
what the fuck is wrong with you?
well, like, dude, I'm like, oh, this stuff even from when I was 3 years old, like, it's so unesthetically pleasing, but where do you go? Like,
Enemy
am I supposed
spotted.
I can't throw
Time to
things
jump.
away. I can't do it. Like, I saw like a plushie I had when I was like 1 year old. I'm like, how am I throwing away? I remember you.
Maybe
Like,
I think we could set up shelves and you can have like a plushy wall.
but it's so ugly. They're ugly.
Okay, they go
I
under
love
the bed.
them.
They go under the bed.
Alright,
Maybe.
it's you
Yes.
and me all
I'll
day,
just-
all day.
Our CPU,
We're gonna
we've got
pray
the
the gay away
Core
so hard up in this
600K.
bitch.
It's got 14 cores, and it's just generally good bang for the buck. Also, unlike its roided out i9 cousins, it is pretty darn. Don't stop. You're gonna want to keep going.
I feel like it's gonna take forever. Yeah, I mean, we chose the easiest gaming PC build video.
30 seconds left.
Cover going out.
Heaven. Oh.
One enemy remaining.
DLSS support. So yeah, this could potentially be a really great way to do that, and it could make this technology ubiquitous, whether you have an AMD GPU, NVIDIA GPU, whatever. That means that both AMD and NVIDIA will, instead of focusing on these techniques, to gain performance that way, they'll have to actually focus on making their GPUs better.
Spike down mid.
I know exactly where AMD's RX 8000 or RDNA 4 GPUs look to have been enabled in some patches in Linux, and that basically shows that we really could be seeing these cards this year. Well, I got some great news because new patches have arrived, but this time they're for Zen 5 or Ryzen 9000. As you can see right here, it says AMD has begun work on enabling the Zen 5 microarchitecture through the GNU compiler collection.
Last
First
player
patches were
standing.
shared through a mailing list titled Enable Support for Next Generation AMD Zen 5 CPU. So this is the real deal. They actually titled it that. This isn't a guess or anything like that. It's definitely Zen 5. And they actually show some pretty interesting things. So before I get to that, as they state here, it says one could have expected Zen 5 enablement to come sooner, considering that the GCC 14 release is expected in March and April, which is a typical annual release for this compiler. But AMD tends to release the updates even after the release of the new product. That said, AMD is clearly speeding up its enablement by introducing first Zen 5 patches even before the product launch. And what this means is AMD, the rumors about them releasing Ryzen 9000 this year is almost certainly true. What's more is that they also added new instruction sets to Zen 5. You can see a few of them right here, including AVX 512 VP2 intercept. And what's interesting about some of this is the fact it actually says it right here. It says the report adds that the same instruction set is listed for the whole family of Zen 5 products, which means Zen 5C, which is obviously their power
I know exactly
will
where
support
you
the
are.
same instructions. And the reason that's such a big deal is because if you remember a little while back, Intel was, the first one to support
Player
12.
standing.
But then, when it came to 12th Gen, they ceased support. And the reason for that is actually because their little cores weren't supported. But this, it looks like AMD's little cores, just like how they also support hyper-threading, will support the same instructions as the regular Zen 5 core. So this is a pretty big deal, and I think it shows just how differently AMD is approaching their little cores versus what Intel's doing. Don't forget, the Zen 5C is also likely, just like Zen 4C, they're set to support multi-threading. Unlike Intel's little cores, only their big cores support hyper-threading. So yeah, this ultimately means that AMD's next-gen Ryzen is on the way. And my question to you is, are you pumped, or are you just gonna wait for the following generation? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you like the video, please subscribe and give it a thumbs up. And as always, have a great day.
They're all like giving us a free grab in the dark.
So recently I discovered that this thing here exists.
One enemy remaining.
And it is completely plugged right into the board with those four. Never 3D modeled a PC case before. A mechanical key switch, iReach 4 Mini. I bought where the front panel will slide in. Those 4 screws. This probably wouldn't work, but I decided to give it a shot anyway. But at this point, despite how small the starting set is, it's too big to print in a single go on my 3D
Joke's
printer.
over!
So
You're
I sliced the PC case. But after that, and a couple more revisions, here it is, the super compact, tiny frame for our PC. And I've got to say, I'm super happy with how this turned out. The IO shield finally fits now. That did take a little bit of tweaking to get right. The motherboard is completely locked in. I've also added a power supply socket at the top. rails at the front as well for where the front panel will slide in, and I've also added a clamp for our 2060. So this clamps down the end of the graphics card and completely locks it into place. Otherwise, we just have those 4 tiny screws, which really weren't tightly as I would hope. Oh yeah, and since I didn't have a proper power switch laying around, I actually made one have
Last player standing.
key switch, which is kind of cool. You know, it gives the build a nice little retro feel whenever you turn it on. As for the side panels, they're simple enough, maybe the easiest part of the entire build for 3D model. But here, I really wanted to pay tribute to one of the best ultra-compact cases of all time, the Skyreach 4 Mini. I've always thought that the panel cutouts in the Skyreach looked really nice and aesthetic, so I tried to incorporate them as best I could. I've also copied the unique split faceplate design from the T1, which I've always found really appealing, and I've got to say, this tiny DIY box turned out pretty good. The only thing left to do now is build it. First, we join the 2 frames together, first at the center here and then the IO. All of these screw points, by the way, are self-tapping as well and seem to work pretty much perfectly. Next is our motherboard, which is just like any other PC case. Finally, on this model, I was able to get the IO shield positioning dialed in. Our tiny power supply is next, and I did have to shorten and resolder these 3 cables here just to make this small gap possible, but that's easy enough. I might end up making some perfect length cables for this build eventually, but the stock ones from HDPlex, they are pretty long, but they do actually fit. Next we have our 4060, we have 4 screws at the back near the IO, the end clamp with 3 screws there, and then we have the which does need to be gently folded in a very specific way, but does fit. And then we have the custom power switch and side panels which go on at the end. And there it is, our tiny 3D printed 3.6 liter mini PC case with an RTX 4060. To be honest, I can't believe this actually worked. As for performance, I really wanted this thing to be able to run Overwatch 1440p 240Hz, and it does that pretty comfortably. But this is where things started to go really wrong. The case started to melt. I made the huge mistake here of using PLA for the 3D printed
30
plastic,
seconds left.
which is really easy to print and doesn't release any harmful fumes, but it also has the lowest glass transition point or softening point out of any 3D printed filament. The top panel started to cave in, and the front panel was deforming really badly. All of my hard work, days of 3D printing, all just gone to waste. I was so excited about this project, but it didn't even last 20 minutes. But while PLA has a glass transition point of just 60 degrees, which is the point where it starts softening like this, ABS is closer to 100. So that should be enough to avoid any serious deformation or melting like we see here. At least until I get my hands on some even more heat-resistant plastics like polycarbonate. And since I need to reprint a bunch of these panels, it's worth adding at least until I get my hands on some even more heat-resistant plastics like polycarbonate. And since I need to reprint a bunch of these panels, it's worth adding some ventilation at the top too. This was a huge oversight by me, and honestly I thought since the 4060 only had a TD print a bunch of these panels, it's worth adding some ventilation at the top too. This was a huge oversight by me, and honestly I thought since the 4060 only had a TDP of around 100 watts that this wouldn't be necessary, but I've never been more wrong. The only thing now was to patiently wait and just hope that this thing could work. And it did. The top ventilation helped a lot in keeping the case cool, and the panels were not even getting close to warm enough now to start deforming. So more ventilation while using ABS, to be sure, that seemed to do the trick. Both the 4060 and our i5 CPU is sitting around the mid-70s, which is more than fine for gaming temperatures at full load. At the same time, our tiny 250 watt power supply seems to be handling things just fine as well. The whole build just worked perfectly. I'm the first to say though that the panel fitment definitely needs some work. You know,
One heaven, Phoenix.
Compression and stuff like that. I've made the mistake of modeling this like it was made with metal and like it has a lot more support than it actually does. Simply put, with plastic you need a lot more joinery, a lot more connecting parts and support. That sort of stuff should be easy enough to add now that I know where it needs it. And I think in 1 or 2 more revisions I can get this looking and feeling a lot more solid.
One enemy remaining.
This one linked down below in the description. That's kind of been the vision of this project, and this links where it needs it. And I think in 1 or 2 more revisions I can get this looking and feeling a lot more solid. And I will leave the 3D files for this one linked down below in the description. That's kind of been the vision of this project. Something super compact, super cool, but also something that you guys can print at home, potentially on your own desktop 3D printer. Maybe wait a couple more weeks though, that way you won't have the same kind of issues that I still have here. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to improving it a lot more in the future and turning this into a truly flawless console destroyer.
Without additional context, if I saw headlines in the news saying that a grown-ass man had called an 11-year-old girl a thoughtless little pig, or that that same man had been
Shadows traveling. Find them.
firing off a viral tweet storm after being thrown off an airplane for causing public disturbance, I would probably guess that that man was Trump. So I guess his Trump impression isn't that bad after all. In fact, the similarities between the two men don't stop there. They both are baby boomers. And they both have wives who are young enough to be their daughters. In fact, they it's interesting, exotic, and
So proud of you, Scrappy.
Can't use this yet. What? Alec Baldwin has technically issued a public apology for the Helena Hutchins shooting, but there remains some controversy to this day about whether or not he was disingenuous. I personally think that he was more upset about the damage done to his reputation than the loss of life that his actions were directly or indirectly responsible for.
You will not kill
Well,
my
I see the danger, so good luck.
I don't wish you
David
to
someone responsible for this incident, but it definitely
One enemy remaining.
That's interesting. David Cole Rossi does an interesting breakdown of this whole incident on his Offside channel, the link to which I will leave in the description.
I just want to share
But
the
that's
love
all I'll
like
say.
Toyota.
Let's move on.
Don't forget that.
As I alluded to before, the
You're not
uncanny
Bob
resemblance
Marley.
between Alec Baldwin and Donald is not entirely a random coincidence. Both men happen
Bob
to be
Marley's
maladaptive narcissists, and they both happened.
But Toyota.
When I click the pussy, make the pussy turn red.
It's already peeing.
Wait, is it Nissan or Toyota? I've honestly lost my mind. Which one's the home of the Trump monkey?
You fought well.
Joke's over! You're dead!
There they are. Phoenix killed. I'll handle this. Enemy spotted A. Plants the spike.
Where are you going? I'm trying to give Scrappy Coco some love over there on B. He kind of ran away.
Dangerous in ropes.
You!
Heaven on A, heaven on A.
$175 to KO.
Heaven on A.
Here. One enemy remaining. Last enemy taken out.
Look your enemy in the eye. It helps.
Alright, boys, it's come on her back season. I have no idea what changed.
They're letting us do this.
No, they were letting us do this and they're
I think
using
Cypher's
outlaws.
finally wore out.
Revealing area. Cutting through. Reload. I know exactly where you are.
One
My one change weapon. You're out of ammo, Reina.
You died last. Good job. What do you say, Drone?
Thanks for the ride.
Ready to stretch your wings?
Hit them when they're not looking. Decoy.
Our spike is down.
Spike down B.
Silence.
Alien Cypher. They're capping the spy, by the way.
Enemy attacker spawn. Die.
30 seconds left.
I can't use that.
10 seconds left.
Wall raised. I have the spike.
Did you think you could plant inside of Scrappy?
Defenders win.